evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilman Troy Como.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity and the freedoms we enjoy to gather tonight. We ask that you watch over this meeting and guide us as we take care of the business of our city. Lord, we ask that you watch over our troops and our first responders. We pray for this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Present.
Councilmember Brooke Marcotte. Here. Councilmember Warren White.
Here.
Councilmember Troy Como.
Here.
Councilmember David Merrill. Councilmember Ron Davis.
Here.
Councilmember Van Dal.
Here. Our first item is public comment. I see we have a comment card. At this time, I remind everybody, including myself, to put their phone on vibrate or silent.
Debbie Hester to speak on agenda item 4D.
Hi, I'm Debbie Hester. I am a volunteer at Iberia Parish Animal Control. I've been out there for 5 years. I'm one of 4 regulars. One of our regulars is actually a local rescue, and she has been pulling dogs from IPAC for at least 15 years. Our concern, and I don't know anything about the politics, but our concern is this division the city and the parish want to do, designating parish kennels and city kennels. When we go out there as volunteers, we take pictures of all the dogs, and we're not going to say, oh, that's a city dog, we're not going to mess with that one and move on. We want to save as many and all that we can. And somebody made a comment at the parish council that they thought 60 days was long enough for a dog to stay there and then it needed to be put down. It doesn't matter if that dog gets put down. There's 5 waiting, and they're talking about how much money it costs to have the dogs there. And it doesn't matter, because when that one's gone, either rescued or put down, there's another one waiting, so the money never changes. Our problem is we don't want that division. If the city has 50% of the dogs, then maybe buy more kennels. I don't know what the solution would be, but like I said, we don't designate city and dogs don't know boundaries either. A parish dog can go into the city and vice versa. But we're also having a problem with spay-neuter. We'd like to put that law, if we could, into effect. And we've come up or talked to each other about a possible solution to that. And is any dog that gets picked up, they are immediately spayed or neutered. If it is a owner reclaim, then they pay the vetting to get the dog back. Otherwise, they surrender the dog to us. We have cruelty cases that we go out on that we have to hold for 10 days, that the people sometimes get them back, sometimes they don't. But I don't think we should have to hold them that long. We should be able to get those dogs out as soon as we can. And I don't know if that can be worked out or not. But if an owner surrenders a dog, there are no consequences to them. There's no fine. The dog gets gone. But if it's a cruelty case that goes to court, they get fined. But we think they should all be fined. And maybe the word would get out and go, hey, we're not getting away with this. You're going to get fined regardless. I don't know if that would work. We would like to see it work, And we used to get, like I said, I've been there 5 years. And in 5 years, I have gotten 523 dogs out. I've either taken them to rescues myself, or I've fostered, or got a rescue to take them. That's just me. That's not counting the work that was done a year and a half ago when we had another manager there, not counting some of the transport people we have now. That's just me. And that's not bad. That's averaging about 100 a year. And we want that chance. We don't want a deadline. We do have a dog out there that's been there a year, and we have been begging, because he's on the euthanasia list, for somebody to take him, and they finally took him today. But he's our longest resident, And sometimes we need that long because we have saturated our rescues to the point where they can't take a dog anymore. They're drowning. And so we have to wait until they have an adoption event and have space, and then whoever gets to them first might get a dog out. And it used to be 4 or 5 a day or a week, and now it's like maybe 1 a month. And all we're asking is that we're given the time to try to get these dogs out, because we have some good adoptable dogs out there. And we were told years ago that if there are empty kennels, then no adoptable dog would be put down. And we hope that that's still the case. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Madam Clerk, 2A.
Acceptance of the minutes, regular meeting of November 4th, 2025, which will be published on November 19th, 2025.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion on our minutes of November 4th? Everybody good? Please vote your machines. Thank you. Item 3A.
Chandler Staples to address the council regarding upcoming drainage projects.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Appreciate your time. I do have an update for Highland area and the plantation project we've been working on. So we started, I don't know which one's first up on this slide. Highland's fine. We could start with Highland. So basically what you're looking at, this area is the improvement area of what was studied. The stars indicate the homes that did have flooding in the houses. So we went through this entire drainage area, studied, looked in the boxes, surveyed it. If you'll go to the next slide over, we've identified in red is what we've identified as pipes that are needing to be improved. So that's about 2,000 linear feet of piping that needs to be upsized, including their boxes, in order to get this area to a 25-year storm with the hydraulic grade line below the road. So this is going to be our Highland project. So it's gonna improve Vicnair, Angers, Priu, and Victory at first. So the red lines indicate where we're gonna do the work. The good news for this drainage area, it all goes to a box culvert east of the hospital that goes to the Bayou Teche. That box culvert is actually okay. It's got plenty of capacity. Looks like our problem is getting water to it. So this project will be sort of like a phase 1 to get these few streets into that system a little bit faster. And it'll, like I said, it will drop the hydraulic grade line, the level of the water in the storm. It'll drop it by about a foot, which is fantastic. So at the end of
Stay out of all those houses.
and that'll be the goal. So, and like we talked, we can plan for a phase 2, which may be that we can upsize, add additional large pipes between the hospital and Vicnair, which will increase it even further. I think we get another 6 inches out of the system. So,
Remind me when we're done, I'd like to talk about that next phase.
Sure,
before you
absolutely.
Get out of here.
and all you're looking at here is you see the flood map down there in the bottom with the blue. This is a flood zone. It's a zone A, an unnumbered A zone. So we are fighting a little bit of a battle because it's a flood zone, and it's always kind of been a flood zone since they've been doing the flood insurance here, the NFIP studies in our area. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to just go in and make quick fixes because it is tied and related to so many other areas downstream. So that is the goal for the Highland area, and we've started working on those plans already. I'd like to say that in addition to the logistical things we found, the city has done a great job of identifying and clogged pipes, cleaning the pipes. CES was another company that came in and cameraed this whole area, put it on GIS for us, and provided a list of every pipe, what it needed, how much debris was in it. And so the city's been able to come in and really do a good job knocking that out. So I think we're going to see a vast improvement to, the next rain, even before we get started with the actual construction. in my opinion. The next area that
We
we,
moved to Plantation,
Yeah.
I think we had a couple.
that's fine, yes, sir.
Yeah, mostly in my district, and
You were talking about the box culvert that goes to, Bayou Teche.
Yes.
That's not what's under Lewis Street, is,
No,
it
sir.
ties into the
No,
box
sir, it
culvert.
runs north-south.
Okay.
Just to the east of the hospital, so it's, under Lewis Street is 3 60-inch culverts.
And they both are being used? The two 60-inch culverts?
Two?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They're all free-flowing.
And none of that goes to T by U, because that's a big misconception that you and I have, had every time we went. People thought some of that water went to, T by U, but it doesn't. It goes to Bayou Teche.
So the two 60s that go, they show two, I don't know if they both are 60s,
Yes.
that goes all the way to pre-U and that?
Correct,
Right.
the two-
And
the
that's
two
the one
yellow
that goes
lines.
to T by U, it goes back all the way to, Kirk and all those streets.
It does, so it's two 60-inch culverts, the two yellow lines up to Victory, and then west of Victory, you have a single 60-inch line.
So on Victory, all those culverts are, not the culverts, those drain bases by, the church. and
By the
that.
church.
That's where the two 60s stop?
Correct.
Okay.
That's where they stop, just across the street from the church.
Okay.
On Victory. And then once you get a little bit further west towards Everett, we actually break over and it starts to flow west to Lawrence Street and then
Right.
out to Superior and out to the Bayou Teche, which was another area that CES did camera it,
And we cleaned.
cleaned, so I think we may still have just a couple of culverts left to get to. So I think you're gonna see a vast improvement headed west as well. So all of this is headed east, and then they are connected, but once you get to Everett, it starts to flow west.
So the red lines is the ones that needs to be upgraded
Correct.
to larger pipe?
It's about 2,000 feet, yes, sir.
And, those are, so they all tied into the same two 60s?
They do.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
So this small, I'll call it small, it's really not small, this small improvement here that you're looking at will benefit the entire area you saw on the first slide, this larger drainage shed of everything that's coming into.
And that would include more, basins for the water to get into the pipe quicker?
It's, the number of basins is actually not terrible, but we will have 2 to 3 more than we had to start with on this section.
Okay.
But the basins was actually okay.
Okay,
As
thank
far
you.
as number and capacity.
Thank you.
Councilman Davis, and then
Yeah,
I'm
well,
coming around.
with Mr. Dahl's question, it answered part of my question with the red pipes right there. So there's to be increased in size.
Yes, sir.
And elevation, is there an elevation problem in this area as well?
We're, as far as on the infrastructure, we're married to the elevations that they're at currently, which is, if you're asking me if there's an elevation problem with the homes or with the infrastructure, I'm not sure which. But
Well, the elevation of the infrastructure, more or less.
So we're gonna, correct, so everything that's being upsized will be turned into an arch pipe, and they're only going up a size or two. So I'll be able to fit, the arch pipe in the same trench, basically, that these will be pulled out of.
So you're dealing with it from a volume perspective.
Correct, it's strictly a volume
Correct.
perspective.
It's all
So
volume.
if I can go up one pipe size, it's a factor of 4 on the hydraulic capacity of it. If I can go up 2 pipe sizes, it increases even further. So it is a large increase. It may not seem like it, going from an 18 to a 24, an 18 to a 30 is a big increase. So we would match the grade, the flow line that's there today, but the pipes would be shorter. They'd be arched so that they can stay. Now, unfortunately, we do have, quite a bit of cross
Infrastructure.
conflict boxes with sewer that cross back and forth in the area.
If we do.
There's really nothing we can do other than the city is well aware, the Public Works Department's well aware of those locations, and they know they're gonna have to be diligent to clean those constantly. Those are the ones that get clogged first, and, back to life kind of thing. Can't make the sewer go up and over.
No, I think you answered. You're gonna change the existing pipe in upsize, you're not putting a new line in?
I'm sorry, yes, we're gonna pull out the old and put in a new one, the same flow line, just a bigger pipe.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
When you said it's a flood zone, is it actually documented on the FEMA map?
Yes.
that
Oh,
it
yeah.
is a-
Oh, yeah.
It's
So
a real
that-
flood.
That little blue inset at the bottom is from the FEMA map. That's the
So-
latest LOMA.
So do you feel like we'd be able to do a map amendment with the improvements and possibly remove that?
I don't know at this time. I would probably say not with our first phase of this project, we wouldn't, but if we can get to a next phase, it's possible that we could. So this area did do a letter of map revision in 2017, I believe, and that was based on some improvements that had been done 5 or 6 years prior to that. So it is possible afterwards that it could be studied
Need some
again.
historical data.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
we'll have.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
just to tell everybody, hopefully.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, after all that work,
Yeah.
that's an
I'm
added
hoping we
benefit
get
that
this.
could be realized if we follow up.
Property owners would be happy.
And just
Absolutely.
to tell everybody, the plantation and this project together are $2.8 million is our budget. We have the money. I am gonna be on him to get this out to bid as quick as we can. And just to tell you before I go any further, the $440,000 that Baton Rouge, our state delegation from the governor on down, got for us, that $440,000, which we're sending the information in now, will give Chandler a contract to attack many other areas in town, but also to look at the second phase of Highland, which would put those additional pipes in. If things hold true, we are at priority 5 for 4.1 million, which we would get next year, and I have the $1 million match, in the budget already. So if it's a little over $1 million, I think it's 1.3, right? 1.2, 1.3. Anyway,
Four.
1.4, okay. So we have that. So the good news is this project is gonna become a reality of phase 1, and then we'll immediately start engineering phase 2. And then if capital outlay holds true for us next year, then we can proceed to do even more in this area, as well as a whole bunch of areas. But I just wanted to put that out there, that while we're discussing all of this, it's not a dream. It's something that has to happen, and we have the funds to make it happen.
Another question?
Yeah.
So the road repairs that's going on in the city we're
I have
working together
been
on
waiting
that?
to get this because I couldn't see what I couldn't. I didn't know what I
Right.
didn't know.
Right.
Now that we have that, that is going to be one of the very next things. That is going to go to, now we got it tonight, that's going to go to from Chandler to Bayreuth Habits.
Right.
So we can look at that and see if there's anything that I should pause for a minute.
Right.
Before we tear it up.
A great point. So if anyone's driven down Vicnair,
Yeah, Vic is one of them.
And Vic is a street that's going to be redone.
my goal is to save as much money as possible for drainage, so I'm gonna cut out as least as I can, even though the whole road's kind of bad. And then if you come back to do a road project, you'll have to spend a little bit more money on the road project,
Right.
and I'll have, dedicated more money to the drainage side. Instead of me ripping out the whole road or half the road, I just, kind of seems like it's more of a road project
Yeah.
where the funding
But
should.
coordination will be key because we can
Yes.
get your work, we can
We
phase
would
it
do this
and
first, yeah.
request that the work that's involved in our street program gets done first.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Mayor, with the drainage, not dealing with what Chandler's dealing with right now, but we had spoke of the curb and gutters that we have within the city, which sometimes retain water, like you said, by design. So will we be also looking at maybe putting some drainage?
Probably not, because those streets drain, the water doesn't get into houses. There are some streets that we get calls that people are like, it's designed that way. So you'll see that we have millions of dollars, probably another 4 million of drainage around all. I didn't bring the list. I'll bring it as we bring that contract forward. But there's so many areas of need where it's worse than that. In other words, if it's designed and it's working, I don't think we're gonna go start cracking streets that are good and trying to figure out how to put drainage where it's not getting into houses and where it's not affecting areas that our whole design as this is way antiquated. So I don't know that I have enough money. If I have more money.
I'm just asking.
And if
I
we
know-
get capital outlay again the following year, those things would be good to attack.
Yeah, I just know that so many areas still hold water for a residual for a period
And
of time.
many of them, which I'll bring the list next time when we bring his new contract, we'll be able to go over it, but it's spread out through all the town. I hate to start naming them because I'm
it's
gonna
fair.
forget some, but it will address some of those, just because they have other problems.
Right.
Okay, Jana?
Okay, if you'd like to skip to the plantation, so this is, what you're looking at here is the south end of Plantation Drive, basically starting at 134 Plantation, going all the way to T Bayou. The yellow stars are the homes that had floodwaters in them. So we identified several problems or issues with this street, and some of them we went ahead and took care of since they were kind of easy fixes. We worked with the Public Works Department. Along Plantation Drive, again, we had root issues in the pipes. Public Works has been able to take care of the majority of that. There may be a couple still needing to be cleaned that they need a new piece of equipment to get, they're a little bit more involved. So the pipes have been cleaned for the most part, and the roots have been removed. A lot of the catch basins on this street were high. Some are higher than the homes. So another thing that the Public Works Department was able to do is replace solid manhole tops on these catch basins with slotted tops to allow water to flow into the top of them. And also we're going to improve the side of the box. These boxes are not your normal box. They stick up out of the ground a bit. So we're going to create a larger opening in the side of the box so that water can get in from the side or the top. So we're just going to try to get more water into the system as it rises. In addition to that, again, the lower inset is showing you that this is also in a flood zone. It goes right through about 134, 136 Plantation Drive, and it's coming from the Rue de Lyon area. So one of our goals is to intercept the water that's currently coming from Rue de Lyon and getting across and coming across all of these yards on Plantation and causing them issues. We're going to intercept that at the property line between the two, starting at 134, which abuts the gingerbread daycare. So the mayor was able to get an easement from that business owner.
Yep.
We're going to put boxes and pipes behind him. He currently has a privacy fencing set up that blocks not only debris but physically holds the water in back there and forces it to go into the plantation homeowner's land. So that will be fixed from that landowner out to the assisted living. That ditch will be improved. We're going to make it as deep and wide as possible as we can fit. And then the piping from there, there's 2 runs of pipe from there that go into T-Bayou. We're going to try to lower one of those runs to, again, allow me to get that ditch as deep and wide as possible. And one of the runs, seemingly as of today, can stay as it is as an overflow. It's a little bit lower than the first set that was there originally from day one. I believe the city had come in and put a second pipe to T-Bayou within the last 10 years, I guess. So along Plantation, we're going to intercept the water before it gets there. And what that's going to do, it's going to reduce the strain on the pipe system that's on Plantation. I didn't mention, but we did find about 400 feet of piping on Plantation that was adversely sloped. We're going to attempt to fix that as well.
That's what you mean by relaying pipe?
Relaying
Yeah,
it's going the wrong way.
Going in the wrong direction.
So we'll increase our capacity by simply fixing that
That's crazy.
slope.
Crazy.
So before it starts raining, it's already got maybe 25% of the pipes full of water, so it doesn't do you any good. So we'll get that to where it's draining free before the storms even come. So we'll intercept the water before it gets into some of these backyards. And again, I know we did have a home on Astor that had flooding and a home on Terrell Court, but our goal here is I believe that if we can catch all of this water before it makes its way across these streets and through these backyards, this will benefit both of those other streets, Astor and Terrell Court as well. So we're going to be catching it and diverting it in 2 places, basically, behind the daycare and then on the street, on Plantation Drive itself. We'll catch more water with our improvements to the drainage boxes that we're going to do. And the next slide is just showing
Let me show you, ask one question, if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
So you got that open ditch, and we all know open ditches flow better than pipes. So the pipe that's from the open ditch to T-Bayou, the red dotted one, relaying, is that pipe big enough? You say you're relaying the,
There's two 30-inch pipes there, and it will be big enough if I can relay it. So I'm going to drop it and increase the slope on it. That's the goal. Now, I agree. I would much rather have a huge ditch from beginning to end. I think there's some reasons at the daycare, for instance, we just can't have a
No,
ditch.
but I was talking about assisted
And then-
living.
And at assisted living, yes, so currently we have 2 runs of pipe, which are sufficient if I can fix them. But it could, if I have the room, I could make that, I could continue the ditch all the way to T-Bayou. Kind
Yeah.
of just one of those things, you know, so who's
So-
that gonna upset and,
So right now, the Ruta line houses, those few before the assisted living and daycare, right now, they all still drain towards Plantation?
correct, yes.
And so the relaying that pipe towards the Lowerville Road, I guess. okay.
That's a new pipe, there's nothing there right now.
Oh, that's a new pipe.
That's new pipe. That looks like, basically the playground of the daycare is completely fenced in. And the ditch that used to run through there is trapped between 2
So
fences.
each one of those properties will have a drainage from each of the properties to that pipe, that new pipe that's coming in?
No pipes no. So we're not gonna install we don't have plans to install any piping from the new pipes into it. What it's gonna do is it's gonna allow the water that's flowing from Rudy Lawn to get into that system and head out to T-Bayou before getting into.
So you can have like a catch basin?
Yes,
Just
we
one
have.
catch
no,
basin?
right now I've got 4 large catch
Okay.
basins. I have to get approval with the daycare again that it
Yeah.
meets their requirements and they're okay with it, but we're gonna be able to get a lot of water into that pipe system. And so, and then on the back side of it, between the red line you see and the homes on Plantation, we'll create a little berm, so that'll kind of block it from getting past those catch basins, and we'll force everything back into the boxes.
Because those drainage is like high. I mean.
Yes.
It's a foot off the ground.
That's why we're cutting some holes in the
I don't know
bottom.
what that was
Yeah.
for, so it's,
So,
Got me.
and look, and it's not that, I don't think they just did that because it looks like a lot of the pipes are high and they might not have had a lot of choice. You know, they got the tops, some of those tops can't be lowered any further because the pipe's right there under the top of it. So they did this strange setup where they have a
That's
hole in
strange.
the back. But those,
they look good, they just don't drain.
right,
Yeah.
and they're so easily clogged, the hole is probably
laid the pipe before.
4 inches by 8 inches.
There were no
So
catch basins.
Yeah.
Right.
we're gonna try to get all that to where it can, accept more water and then clog less often.
So you think over the years, 'cause I've been representing that district forever, that the pipes shifted? And that's why the drainage got worse?
I don't think so.
No?
I think they probably started off that way, they were put in wrong to begin with.
Yeah, there you go.
They were run back.
Once the,
But that was
Now you hit the
years
nail on
ago,
the head.
before us.
fair.
Yes, okay.
This is in the 80s.
They thought
Once-
T-by-U was the other way.
Once the roots took over and the debris started getting caught, that made it so much worse. So, it just, no, I think that's been like that since they put it in, just mistakenly.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So Chandler, just a big question. We improving the capacity of the water and the amount of water we draining off this area.
Yes, sir.
In your opinion, do you think the improvements that were made with T-by-U without doing any more improvements will handle what we trying to do?
I'll say this, I don't know what else we can do to T-Bayou, to be honest. In the city, we've done everything we can. We've cleaned it, brought it back to its original cross-section. We've looked at it since it's been cleaned and it's rained, and I've never seen it drain dry before, and it has been draining dry, which is, I think, the most we can ask for, but, it's not that it's topping its bank and backing up into these homes at 134 and 136, 138, which is good news. So, I honestly think what we've gotten accomplished with T-Bayou is probably the best we can hope for right now. Obviously, you'd have to go much further downstream to get it any deeper
Right.
in our area. And of course, at that point, you're restricted by certain bridges and crossings from there down.
So the city is, with your plans, the city, we should have ample enough drainage, other than a 50-year rain event, whatever.
Fair, yes, I would say that's a fair statement. And again, what we experienced, these homes are slightly above, a couple are slightly below that base flood elevation that FEMA's got published. So, you know, nowadays you build a home, they're gonna make you be at least a foot higher than that base flood. But back then, you know, they're basically sitting right at it. So, and that's for a 100-year storm technically. So what we experienced in April seemingly exceeded that 100-year storm level because we did get 2 inches, 3 inches in some of these homes that were already above the base flood elevation. So they're sitting at 14.3, 14.4, and base flood's at 14.1. So, you know, hopefully we don't see something like that again. But it seemingly was a little bit in excess of the 100-year storm that was planned, you know, that is published. So.
Anybody else have any other questions? When do you think we'll be ready for bid?
So Highland and Plantation are gonna go out together. And I'll just mention this, we did also complete a little plan for Charles and Ann Street, which has already been sent out for RFPs. But these two are gonna be ready in December to go out to bid. And then during that time, we'll be completing the study for Summerfield.
Right.
So,
But they are bid, it's two different projects.
well, at this point, I was gonna
We were budgeting them together, and I was just bidding them as one project.
just to have a single bond and single, you know, I
I
think
mean,
we
it's a
can,
larger project, so I have to public bid that. I mean, it's 2.8 million, so I gotta advertise, I gotta public bid it. I think we would be better probably just bidding that as one project.
be done any way y'all want,
But,
but
yeah,
that
I'm
was
open.
the plan.
If you
No,
have a-
that's fine, I just didn't know,
Right.
sometime when they get too big, we're limited to bidders
Yeah.
for some of these projects, but that's fine, I was just wondering,
I was thinking we might get a better price, you know, than two small jobs.
that's fine, I'm great, that's cool.
So just quick, we're not gonna, plantation is just being resurfaced, so without, your intentional plans will not mess up the resurface on plantation?
It should have no effect.
Okay, that's what I see in it.
Everything's off to the
It's on the
side.
side.
Correct.
Okay.
So Plantation used to be an open ditch
Yeah, right.
subdivision, now it's close, so I'm 6 feet off the edge.
Right.
And just to tell you, the $440,000 contract, we sent it to the state. If we didn't send it yet, it's going this week, so that facility planning can look at it and we can get approval. And then once I do that, I'll be getting back with you, then we'll draw up a contract, then we have to send the contract for approval. But I want to get that in the works because that is the engineering for the money we're getting from the state next year.
Great, great.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, 4A.
Resolution number 25-150, a resolution awarding contract to Iberia Aggregates and Construction Materials LLC for the Fontainebleau Drive Coulee Cleaning Project and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
This is one of our last little coolies. It's about a $20,000 project, 20 and some change. We'll have one more coming after this, and I think we'll have cleaned every coolie.
So move.
So I have a motion by Councilman Dan Dahl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Ron Davis. Any questions or comments?
I gotta stay in my phone touches.
Okay. Everybody good? Please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, 4B.
Resolution number 25-151, a resolution approving change order number 3 for the American Rescue Plan Act Community Center's restroom upgrades project and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
This has no dollar value, it's only time, so that's always good to hear. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Councilman Dan Dahl and Councilman Troy Como, any questions or comments? David, how are you?
Good. So this change order is for 40 days on the contract time for the community centers restroom project. Throughout the construction, we had a contingency in the project that we were using for little miscellaneous things that came up that had to be addressed. And some of these things had some time associated with it that we accumulated. And now at the end of this project, we're trying to bring everything up to date on that. Currently, the restrooms, they've gotten the punch list on the last group of restrooms. They're working on getting those open, I think tomorrow. And the lining system started work today. So they're gonna be in New Iberia till they finish the project. So y'all have any questions?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Well, so far, they did a great job.
Yes,
I
they
mean,
did.
they really did. To work around all the people, whatever, I think they did a great job.
Good
So
contractor.
they can start the lining tomorrow, you said? And how long you think that'll take? Couple
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks?
Yeah, if that.
And then that's it. It's done. We finished with everything.
Yeah, that'd be it for the project. Well, they have that one bathroom that they have to
I was gonna
finish
say.
the work on in the
Yeah.
lobby at Sear
Yeah.
Gates, because they had to cut a hole in the floor to reach the pipe and dig it down.
Right.
So they didn't really do any work, but that's the first group of restrooms they're lining right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll move on to the other restrooms, and then after that allows the contractor to move in and finish that bathroom.
So the other ones, they can go through where the toilet is?
Yeah, they just pull from the
They pull
toilet.
it down.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I was looking at this and maybe I looked at it wrong. You said this is only a time change order, not dollars?
40 days, I think.
40 days.
Okay, so I'm looking at this document right here. It says that the change order was 244-01.
That's the previous change orders that are accumulated on the project.
Okay,
So we had change order 1 and 2 on this project, and those had monetary values associated with the increases. And that's what we do for this line item for 244. That's the value of change orders that have been accumulated on the project to date, not including number 3 though.
okay.
And number 3 is
No.
zero.
Just a little tally sheet
Yeah,
that shows you as
I-
it goes along.
Okay, cool, I'm good.
The change order was when Karen found we had to line all the
Right,
pipes.
it's all this
'Cause
expensive
doing all
lining
that stuff wouldn't have made sense.
at both gyms.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Everybody good? Please vote your machine. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, man. 4C.
Resolution number 25-152, a resolution requesting financial assistance from the state of Louisiana under the fiscal year 2025-2026 Local Government Assistance Program.
This is for our next round of LGAP, and what we're trying to get is new cameras, security cameras for here at City Hall. We have a system, but it's pretty ancient, and so that's what we'll be asking for, but this is just to start the request. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, Councilman Ron Davis. Any questions or comments? Very good. Please vote your machines. Thank you very much. All right, 4D.
Resolution number 25-153, a resolution approving the terms of the cooperative endeavor agreement by and between the city of New Iberia and Iberia Parish Government related to animal control services.
Okay, let me get the motion and the second out the way. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Councilman Warren White. Okay, what I'm trying to accomplish here is we're in the beginnings of negotiating an agreement. We need a new agreement because our current agreement ends in March. So we don't have a choice but to look at what we can do differently. So this is an open discussion. I'm willing to, have, as long as it takes. It's a complicated issue. The more I have learned about it, the more I have divulged into it, the more I've talked to other mayors with shelters, other parish presidents, the more I've had meetings with the parish president. We have a lot of stuff to go over and a lot of decisions to make. Unfortunately, it's all tax dollars. It is two separate bodies of tax dollars. We have not had a shelter for many, many years. When I got here, it was a very cheap contract. It was $21,000 a year. It has morphed over a couple of contracts and a whole lot of steps. The contract that we are not going to be able to renew is $171,000. I understand it's a complicated thing, and you get what you pay for. So I just made a list. I put it in front of you. Been working on it till today. So it's the beginnings to have a discussion of how it might work. And what we're charged with doing is coming up with the policies and procedures of what we want to do. I think you make all that transparent, whether you agree on an issue or not. Everybody needs to see what we're doing. Once we would approve this, and if it takes another meeting to approve it, that's fine. If we can amend it and make our changes and approve it tonight, my next step with it is to send it to parish government, to our attorney, who'll send it to their attorney, and then they'll start going back and forth, and I'm sure the parish president and I'll have some more discussions. But this is a start. So nothing's in stone. If you let me, I'll just go down my list, which is not in any order yet. All right. I want the ability of the city of New Iberia, or at least my suggestion is to partner with the vet clinic and/or nonprofits as a consultant. If we have to determine the health and the future path of animals collected within the city, I want some professionals. So my idea, and I've already talked to a couple of vets, and they're willing to do it, that they would come in and help us with any decisions, because some of these decisions are not good. I mean, I'm not being ugly. I don't think anybody runs a no-kill shelter, or very, very few people. I at least want to be a low-kill shelter, and I hate even talking about that, but it is a fact of animal control. As you know, we put up 20,000. Our spay and neuter program is going to start. I don't feel, and not that, you're here tonight, not that you don't do good work, I don't think you can adopt yourself out of a problem. I think that you have to move dogs along at some point, because I got citizens calling, I got laws to follow, I got police. We have our own police department, we get constant dog calls. I understand that I owe the citizen to enforce the law, and I owe the citizen peace of mind as well as the dog. But I think I owe the dog something too. So it's a complicated thing, but dogs have to be moved along, so I want help with that. So that was my first thing. The second thing is, I would like, and I'm not saying we would, but I would like at least the opportunity for my citizens who care, or some of us, who serve, to be involved in adoptions. In other words, if you see a place to bring a dog, if you have an idea, if we have citizens that step up in town and say, okay, there are dogs, we want to help, it all has to be organized, there's rules, you can't have pandemonium, but we would like the opportunity that if that's our dog, see, we're morphing, as I see it, we're morphing our philosophy. We tried to just write a check, okay? So we wrote a cheap check. That worked for a lot of years. Whether it worked or not is the opinion, but that's the way it was handled. Then we wrote a more expensive check. Then we got out of it. Then we wrote a little bit more expensive check. Then we got out of it. So we are going to have to be, and that's why we're doing this, consciously more involved. So I would like the ability that if people come along who can help us, that avenue is there. Okay, dog catcher. We will furnish a dog catcher and/or a contractor. I got some ideas. Now, that person needs to be able to get to the shelter, and these are some details we will have to work out, okay? I really don't want a holding facility, because I'm already spending a lot more money when I get to the money later, and I don't want to build something that at 55 degrees, and all those state rules, they don't come and write you a ticket. They come and suggest what you should do. I've already talked to them more than once. But at 55 degrees, you should have some heat. At 85 degrees or above, you don't need air conditioning, but you need ventilation. So to build all of that, we already went down the road that we can't afford to build a shelter. So I don't want to build a mini shelter. So this contractor or dog catcher would have to be able to have access. I know we got to work that out. We'd have to have times, we'd have to figure it out, but I would want that person to be able to pick up an animal and bring it to the shelter. That sounds simple, and I know we got weekends and holidays, so we got some things we have to talk about, but that's my hope, or our hope. I hope it's yours too. Okay. Our kennel cost. We're gonna call it a hotel. We're paying $19 a night for a hotel, okay? That's the rate. That's what the parish president and I talked about. So I started looking at kennels. Well, I think we need 40 kennels. Now that's cats and dogs, I'm just calling them kennels. If I look at the intakes, well, I wanted that information. If I look at the intake, if I look at how many dogs are euthanized, if I look at how many are turned over to owners, how many are adopted, I know that I have a 40 dog problem at any given time, okay? That's pretty well given from looking at the records. I'll give you some more numbers and stuff in a minute. Okay, this is a sad one, but I'm gonna bring it up. I realized that I didn't think of that. The incinerator cost a lot to fire it up. I did not realize that was a big expense. So parish president and I talked about it, it's an expense. I'm just gonna talk about it all. I know that they have some freezer space there, and I realized that we would have to coordinate that if we euthanize an animal, we gotta figure out how we would do that together. It ain't pretty. So we would coordinate with parish government for those tasks. I want to strive to run a low-kill shelter. That's something I think we need to do. Okay, and the next one, and you had made the remark earlier, and there's no back and forth in public comment, and really not now either, but I do think that you have to think about the money because we're spending taxpayers' money. So the next thing is not meant to be heartless, but we've got to talk about it. So we need a retention policy. We need to know how long we're going to hold dogs. And, you know, when you look at it, it's ridiculously short. I mean, it's 3 to 5 days and you could do whatever you want. I'm not suggesting that. So, just because you got to talk about it. If you keep dogs for 20 days at the dog hotel at $19 a day, you invested $380 in that animal. If you do 30 days, it's $570. If you do 45 days, it's $855. If you do 60 days, it's $1,140. But look at this as an example, because you're going to spend this money year round, okay? Our grand total, and this won't change. You take 40 kennels times $19 a day times 365 days, that's $277,400. You're not going to get out of that, okay? If our spay and neuter, we have put up $20,000, okay? We have some vouchers that are, is it $80 and $40? We have some vouchers for $80 and $40. We've got a couple of vets who want to do it. We're in the process of printing them and trying to figure out a way to print them that you can't go home and print 2 more, okay? So we're working with Sir Speedy to where, you know, it's like a dollar bill. It's got some kind of watermark or something that you can't, you know, cheat. But that's how you fix the problem over the long haul. But $20,000 is not going to fix the problem, but it's a start. The city's never made that investment. So you're always going to spend, please don't think I'm trying to say that you're not, you're always going to spend $277,400. Plus we spend the cost of the dog catcher and those things that go with the dog catcher. So it's not cheap business. On the flip side, we have to make a choice. Why do you hold animals? Well, you look at the animals, and again, I'm blunt. The vet's going to tell us if a dog is too sick. A vet is going to tell us if a dog is too old or if it's vicious, you know, and it's not adoptable. So if you look the last couple of years, the parish has euthanized about 150 dogs a year, okay? I looked at other places, and the numbers were much higher. I mean, I think that it's an effort to say, you know, we're not trying to just euthanize dogs. So with that fact, though, you know, this is how I got to think about it. If you have 40 kennels and you adopt so many dogs and you have so many left and so many are turned over to their owners and you figure out what rhythm works, it's cold-hearted, but how long do I keep them that I'm giving the good dogs the best chance I can to be adopted and I'm giving people time to find their animal, and then what's left, and then you're going to make a call on with a vet, with some other help, what gets euthanized. If you run it like that, you're at least making an effort that you have a target. Well, I want to be under 150 dogs a year. You know, I want to, if I have to, it's sad, but if I have to, I want to euthanize 10 dogs a month. That's 120. You know, and we have to at least have, that's a pitiful goal to have, but you have to work around some numbers and start figuring out what works. Do I know it works today? No. I have analyzed the parish president gave us all of our public records requests. I made a call to a couple of mayors who have shelters. Some do better than that. Many of them euthanize dogs a whole lot quicker than that. You know, they like 7 days. If I don't know who it is, you know, it's going. I don't think but if you tell me, I mean, this is an open discussion. I'm not a king. The animals in the city, of course, I would want them to have that same, and I think they will, the same access to be adopted. I agree. We talked about that in meetings in the past. The dog doesn't know the property line, doesn't know city or parish. So any program that is held for the dogs, in that way, we got a tax money to spend, so we're separating them for that one reason. Other than that, it's one shelter. In other words, if they have adoption programs, we want our dogs to be included. If we hit a home run and, you know, Mrs. Bissell wants to come and bring her plane, pick them all up, you know. I sent her a couple of emails. We hadn't heard from her yet. We knew at this. I have my lady who writes grants. She's looking for grants. If we can find grants that's going to help everybody, I'm all in. Jane's looking now. If we find something that benefits a small amount, well, I'm paying $277,000. I'm going to take it. If we find something that could benefit a great number of dogs, we'll do it for everybody. So that's just kind of a quick overview of the challenges that we have in front of us. Now we have till March. The contract is honored till March. I brought it early, like I try to do everything, so that we have time to think about it, we have time to discuss it. It has to go back to the parish. At some point, an agreement has to be drawn up. Both entities have to vote on it. You know, government does not move quickly, and government is full of complications. But I just wanted y'all to be thinking to have a discussion and to see what you think. And look, if you got some ideas, please add them. This is a complicated, thing. It's really easy to just say, I got the answer and we're gonna move real quick and that's the end of that. That's not. And a couple of mayors I talked to, I was like, that's not what we want to do. So I'm open up the floor. I welcome your comments and suggestions so we can put something together.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Since we'll have our dog catcher and we'll control what the dog catcher can do in that. And is there a way, because a lot of people lose dogs, they don't know if it ran away, like Facebook or something, the dog catcher could take a picture of the dog and say, hey, this
I
dog was.
think that's Facebook's a big part of it. I think that, we have the chip scanner we put in behind City Hall. I could probably find a location to put another one. But we certainly can use social media to, and my plan is people will call because they call the police department. I'll use our CAD system. That way I have a record. When I have a dog catcher, it will be, here's your 7 calls. His responsibility will be to get back to the police department to which ones he's handled. So those CAD tickets will help us track them. So at any one time, we know our calls, we know what's happening. That on our end, I know that the parish has requirements and log stuff in, but for us, we have been talking with the police department and already figuring out how we can keep track on our end that our employee or our contractor is, doing what they're supposed to be
Because
doing.
when someone, kid runs away or some, they put pictures out there and pictures says a lot. We could, with dogs, it might help people say, well, that's my
I'm
neighbor's
fine with that.
dog.
Well, the other thing
whatever.
is somebody, if they don't come claim it, it's another way that someone might adopt it. At least they would
Yes.
see the dog and,
Yeah.
that one's cute. And it's much easier to look on your phone in your living room and decide what dog you want, at least a start,
Just a
So No, it's a
suggestion.
good idea.
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
And this might be off, if we look at the numbers and we're looking at about $107,000 increase per year over what we're paying now.
Yes, sir.
So we are spending more money.
Yes, sir.
Is there
Plus the
maybe,
dog catcher.
plus the dog catcher. Is there any way possibly that we can incentivize the adoption agency to get dogs adopted? And why I'm saying that, if it's costing us $19 a day, plus feed, plus vet, and we offer incentive to get dogs adopted, it could save us money in the long run. I'm not sure how legally we can do that, but
Trying to-
volunteers are volunteers. They're gonna put an effort to stop a dog from getting euthanized and getting adopted. But if they're incentivized to do that, to get a dog adopted, to get it passed on, it saves the taxpayers dollars and it saves the life of a dog. I think right now, they doing volunteers, they going after work on their spare time, but
Okay,
I'm not
give
saying
me-
a paid salary.
Yeah, give me an example of what you're thinking.
So-
Okay, it's
so-
costing us $19 a day.
So-
You trying to think of a way for $10 a day to get somebody to adopt a dog?
Or if
No,
it-
I'm asking.
No,
I-
or
I-
if
I'm all
that
in.
dog,
I'm a
no, if
business
that
guy.
dog, if you get the dog adopted, let's just use a $50 incentive. You goes to that agency, that nonprofit.
I don't know if I can give prizes with tax dollars.
It's not
I'm
a
trying
prize.
to think. No,
It's
I
not a
know. I'm
prize.
trying to think of how we.
Oh, so we have to think
we
outside the
gotta-
box.
We do. I'm all for it. If you
I
can,
mean, so
if I
right
can make
now-
if it pencils, I'm for it. Okay.
Right now, we're
But-
getting people to go on weekends after
But,
work.
but he's
okay?
gonna tell us. Look, he's already
Well-
got his hand up.
Yeah, if you're talking about shots, spay, neuter, stuff like that, maybe so.
Well, I mean, it could be that.
Cash, I don't know.
No, it could be.
Okay,
It could
okay.
be,
If what you're doing is protecting the public, and trying to solve the problem at large, so the benefit is not just for the person who's taking the dog, it's for the public, then I think you could do spay, neuter, shots, basic vet, vet
New
stuff.
leash.
Collar with a name on it.
Collar with a name on it.
So we don't have this
A
problem
chip.
again.
A chip.
A
I mean,
chip.
think about
Yeah,
it. They are
so,
some things.
so say,
I like what you had.
no, so say,
Now,
I say, let's Angel Paws. Let's just use them for not call.
Okay.
And say Angel Paws comes to us and they get 10 dogs adopted this week. So we can't buy a week's worth of food to help feed their pets for incentivization for them getting dogs adopted and saving the taxpayers money. Just using it hypothetically. I mean, if we can increase adoption and get dogs off out the shelter, I think it's worth thinking outside the box.
it is. It is.
We could contract with somebody to give us adoption services, which would empty out our shelter and save us money,
Same.
probably. I'm just
No,
think,
this- Me too.
studied it 2 minutes, but,
Yeah,
it would seem to me that if it's a public benefit,
We could
and
pay Mrs.
it-
Bissell $10 a dog.
Whatever.
and
You
it
know, I
helps
mean,
our
they-
efforts out
you know,
there,
yeah, I
we
mean,
could
no,
look
I
at,
know,
we could look
yeah.
at stuff like that.
Or give
And
them
I'd
a
say,
check.
I think we need to plan on, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way, we need to plan on we're spending $277,400, but if we find ways to save some money or incentivize that more dogs are adopted, and maybe we save a few nickels along the way, I'm all for it.
So,
Because we
We just gotta craft that.
what we need to do is we need to take off the street animals that are dangerous, animals that are sick, abandoned animals, unaccompanied animals, as they call them. So, if we have programs that are gonna allow us to pick up more dogs because we free space, and we can do it in some way that adopts dogs out, I think that's a
Okay.
win-win.
So we got a window.
I don't think we ought to write people checks, but,
Small window.
I think,
so
It's not a door yet, it's a window, but.
that's how we do things. We open windows.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
So,
right.
all right, so my next thought, okay, so, and as Ms. Hester commented, the goal of the city is to protect the general public from animals that are being, and we have to honor that. And that all comes with a population control, and we don't want to say that. So that's why we low-kill shelter. I'm about saving the dogs and trying to do as best we can, but I'm a realist. I know what's down the line. In my opinion only, we cannot function as we are now with a full animal shelter with no space. That's unacceptable. We have to have space occupied for dogs on the street to serve our public. A phone call now, shelter's full, we can't take no more dogs. I don't see that working. That's not palatable to the public, especially when you're paying $19 a day at $277 a year. So we have to figure out from a big picture how we do population control, generally speaking, in a humane way, and try to benefit through adoption. Vice versa, my suggestion of trying to incentivize adoption, where we never have a full shelter, and we don't have to make those decisions. But in the same way, I think creatively, we're gonna have to serve the public in some kind of manner, and those days and those youth, and we all don't wanna do it, but at the same time, I think if we do it right and we go the right approach, we possibly can speed adoption up and we don't have to cross that bridge. My suggestion.
That's the hope.
Yes, sir.
That's why I brought all that, that's why we're doing
And I
this.
do think,
That's-
there needs to be a number of days, whatever that day is, we will have to figure that out. I do think that since we're now renting a dog hotel, right, that we need to get accountability and enforcement, that the kennels are being kept up, that we get reports, and I'm envisioning that the state comes and inspects it 4 times a year to make sure the facility is up and running, up to par, because if there's a liability issue with the shelter, it falls back on the people, not only who's operating the shelter, but who's renting the shelter. So I think that it should be an enforcement where we can require i.e. the parish, since we're paying a 2.7, that they get an inspector 2, 3, whatever time of the year, inspect the facility, hey, it's up and running, it's perfect, it's good, everything's being maintained. I would feel more comfortable. Also, I would feel more comfortable with a report from the parish every week, what dogs they're taking in on the city, what dogs are getting euthanized, what dogs are getting adopted, so we can kind of monitor our kennel space at the same time. So I think that all those things can be put together, and I want to applaud, first of all, I want to applaud the parish for coming back to us and working with us on this issue, because I think at the end of the day, this is a service that has to be rendered by both bodies, and I think it's more beneficial to the general public. Yes, dogs don't know the property line, I get that, but a dog's a dog, they all deserve a chance, they all need to get adopted, and we both have the same vision. We just got to work through the kinks, and I think all the things we're suggesting tonight, that I'm suggesting, is fully achievable in the long run. I think we just got to work through them, and they may have a little bit differences, and Freddie may have something different, but the generalized goal is to provide that service. And as an elected official, we have to provide that service. And we're amping our costs up. We're providing a dog catcher, but I want to sign an agreement. I would like to sign an agreement for 2-3 years, long term, and so we can get this worked out. Because the investment we're making is a substantial investment, and just to make that investment for 1 year or 6 months is probably not the best interest of the taxpayers.
We right now, I was asking for 2 years.
2 years, okay, so you asked for 2 years, so yeah. So, with inspections and daily reports and working through incentivizing for adoption and trying to get that done. I think, you know, and obviously for our dog catcher to have 24 hours so you can bring pets, and then we're monitoring it. And, you know, I think we can put a vet on staff, like we have talked about, to contract out to evaluate the city's pets and move that forward. Now, I think 40 kennels is a good number, Freddie, at the start.
I'm hoping. I mean,
I'm
you know,
hoping.
like I said, what I'm doing is trying to get a consensus on, I mean, our vision's the same.
Right.
I think everything I've got listed is
So-
pretty much what you're saying. So I think if everybody agrees, it's a good start to say,
Think so.
does this work?
And I think, you know, we're saying, and if the number comes out to be 40, whatever that number, we're paying for an empty kennel or a full kennel, it doesn't matter. When we tell Mr. Rishaw we need 40,
Yes.
we get the invoice 40 every week.
Yeah,
week.
once we make a deal,
So-
it's not, well, take,
Right.
I have 10 kennels empty, take it off. That's
right.
That's not how it
And
works.
so we don't want, we can't, I don't say we want, but we can't be faced with our 40 kennels full and we telling our public that we don't have no room. We have nowhere to go with it. We can't keep them in the dog catcher's truck, so we have to make some decisions. So it's to our benefit to keep a certain amount of kennels open at all times and incentivizing or coming up with a plan to move these pets along forward. And listen, one thing we all need to envision and think about, this is not city government's problem of overpopulation with pets. This is private residents, province problem. This is the public's problem. They created the problem. We're servicing the problem. And we're gonna service it and do the best we can. But remember, it's gonna take the part of the general public to understand, get your pet spayed and neutered, control the pet population, and we can help move it forward. But we didn't create this problem, but we're gonna service this problem. So I think advocating a message to the general public that this is what's happening, we're trying to improve their shelter, but at the same time, the burden falls on you to improve that population. And I'll rest with that right now.
Thank you. That's why I wanted to roll out, That's why I wanted to roll out the $20,000 of spay and neuter even before this, because that's how we're gonna get people's attention.
I think so.
That this is what we're trying to do. We're putting up tax dollars for a service. It's good for the community. It's good for the health of the community. We're protective in doing that, but you're not wrong. You know, the big steps are gonna be how we control that flow. And, you know, we're not gonna know the flow exactly. I mean, we kinda have some thoughts because of the data we have, but that's gonna be the big ticket.
And one more other comment is
I
that.
thought you rested. I'm thinking of
So you know, everybody. Hey, listen. So you know, everybody got their.
He just took a break.
I just took a break. Everybody got their tax notices in the mail this week. So you know, ad valorem taxes pay for rabies control. So that's another portion that city residents are putting into animal control, along with the $277,000, along with the dog catcher. So it's not a cheap investment from the taxpayer standpoint. So people said, "Oh, that's an easy solution. You're putting dogs in cage, you euthanize them, feed them, and get." No, it's a lot more complicated. The mayor reiterated on that. But once you sit down in these meetings and you study the facts, you know, the general public and raising pets and turning them over to the shelter is an expensive proposition, unfortunately, and it's part of service that we got to provide.
Thank you, sir.
Are you done?
You're
Can we talk?
giving the floor back to the mayor.
Okay. Who's next? Okay.
Now, I just want to ask this question here. Okay, y'all talking about adopting the dog. How about the dogs that bites someone? Y'all not planning on adopting those?
No.
Okay, because I know in my district it had dogs that bit one of mine.
That's what our vet is gonna help us with. And
Okay.
remember, we are making these decisions, you know, in other words, where there is a separation is, when I say control the flow of adoptions, of euthanasia, of how long we keep a dog, that's gonna be a city decision. In other words, that's why there is a distinction. So we are gonna that's why we're doing this. But yeah, a dog that is a vicious dog that cannot be adopted, that is a danger, nobody wants. I mean, you think about the people working in the kennel, I mean, at the shelter, they don't want it either, no offense. So those dogs, that's an easy decision.
So how many days they keep them? 15 days before?
Yeah, we have to keep those, if they're vicious, we have to keep them for 15 days.
Okay, and then I pay $19 a day.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would,
For
the
that?
ones that I know are vicious, and if you tell me that we could do that sooner,
That is too long.
I would do it sooner. I mean, to me, that's some 5 day to 7 day dogs.
And a little waste of money too.
Yeah, I agree.
But you gotta wait to see if I get rabies.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got lawyers and
Right.
involved.
Yeah, you know all about that.
I know about that.
Yeah.
You do. Next.
So is the $277,000 a year, that's for sure, we're just working out terms and conditions?
Yes, that
Okay.
at $19 a day. The only way you cut that fee is if, what if the parish says I can't have 40 kennels? What if he says I can only have 35 or 37 or whatever, in other words, but whatever we settle on of kennel space that they say, yes, we can give you that, yes, we will be paying that. It's not gonna go down.
I didn't know if it was gonna go up.
Well, we're gonna do a 2-year contract, and I'm hoping that, because this is, the dog catcher themselves are gonna be a big expense, the equipment, again,
It's
the
just a matter of
277 is
seeing
not
if-
everything. So I'm hoping that we have a 2-year contract at the $19 a day
Okay.
for the Larry Richard Ritz Hotel. It's my hope.
What an interesting name.
Well, I don't know, I just made it up. Yeah. Giggle letters.
Okay, so
The
you
Richard
guys have already
Ritz.
talked
Write
about
that
this
down.
list, or is this the first time?
No, let's talk about it. In other words,
No, I'm talking about you and parish president.
we talked about in general, kind of this in general. Ricky came, Jeff came, Ian was there, the other parish guys. We in general kicked this around. I did not give them how many kennels. I did not formulate, I mean, it's a learning experience for me.
Right.
I formulated many of this list after that meeting. Because
Okay.
after that meeting, I was like, okay, I got my homework to do. I knew I did. I'd done some of it. Then I started making calls and getting other people involved. And Larry and I talked again since then. So this is, in general, what we talked about. Then I took the data that I got from asking for those public records requests and sat there and played with it all and came up with this.
Okay, gotcha. I hope we can work together and make something work. I really do.
I don't think we have a
Because-
choice.
Right.
We really don't.
We kind of don't. So hopefully we can come to an agreement that everyone's comfortable and happy with.
Right. Well, the first step is for us to be comfortable and happy.
Yes.
And understand where we might be heading. Then
Right.
the next step is to send it to them and make sure that they're cool with it. And then after that, we can draw up a contract. My big problem, which is always gonna be my problem, that's why I sit in this chair, is, scraping all the money together and figuring
Right.
out how to, it's a big increase. I'm already working on that. I'll figure it out like I always do. But, that's our steps. And if we get it done sooner, we can wait till March to lock it in. If, I am looking at, all kind of options for the dog catcher. I'm being creative, because that's how we do things. I got a couple of options already. I'm trying to play those out. I'll bring that back to you. That'll be the next piece that probably I'll need some action from you. And then, of course, when the agreement comes at the end, whenever we're finished, you have to vote on the agreement. But, I think we don't have a choice but to rise to the challenge some kind of way.
Right. Okay. I'll rest.
Okay, that's our new thing, man.
Rest, you rest?
Yes.
You want to go?
Subject to removal.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So, would the, number 8, would the retention policy of adoptable animals should not be housed for more than a certain amount of days? That would be an in-house policy if we just.
Yes, that's us looking at, unfortunately, and it is part of it, looking at the dollars, knowing that the kennel will always be full, okay?
So-
The stretch is, how many dogs do we leave on the street that are
That's-
affecting somebody else?
That's-
okay?
that's
So the
where I'm
$1 million question is, how do you balance it? You have people calling, and our 40 kennels are full, and we're maybe some months moving them along really well. Maybe some months we're not, okay? So the months that we're not, the big rub is, yes, we want to get to your dog and you're number 7 on the call, but at this day today, I don't have a place to bring them.
Right.
Then, do you make a decision and piecemeal all of this? It's gonna be weird, and I think it's gonna come down to sometimes 2 or 3 dogs we have to make a decision on 2 or 3 dogs so that we can move these 2 or 3 in. That's gonna be the rub, that's why I was willing to spend $277,000 to get 40 kennels, so it gave everybody a little breathing room. If you cheapskate this and you say, well, hey, I just want 15 kennels at the dog hotel, I'm all good, you will never accomplish anything. One, you got no pool to pick from. Number 2, you got dogs running around all over your town that we're not services anybody. So that's the balance in that.
So would you agree that we could revisit that policy at a
Yes.
later date?
Yes, in
Without
other words,
affecting the contract?
I feel like we're gonna, yeah, because that's our policy.
Correct.
In other
So
words,
that's-
what I think we're gonna have to do is grow into a little bit of this. But I needed it to get in your skulls, thinking about it, so that as we morph, because I do think that's the hinge pin of how successful we're gonna be.
Right.
Or not be, and I think that could change. So, but that's an internal thing.
So that-
That's something if we come back and say, look, I've gotten too many complaints, one, let's hope we come back and say it's working well. If it's not working well and I have way too many dogs still out on the streets and we're clogged up that our 40 kennels aren't moving, then we're gonna have to revisit the situation.
So
So
that-
money-wise is not the issue, it's really the service to the community, because we're never gonna be cheap. I can tell you by looking at the dogs that are out there, you all do it, we all live in this town. When you ride around and look at the amount of animals in the city of New Iberia, we will never be free of this problem until spay and neuter. We should be spending $200,000 a year on spay and neuter. That's the real ticket. And maybe one day we can work toward, better control, more money in spay and neuter, hook up with the parish, maybe do a bigger thing, maybe we find a grant for spay and neuter. Anything we can do to up that is really the only way, because hell, I got people who don't know how to treat each other. So my problem is, what's coming in last? The dogs, the pets. And so until we get that under control, this is not a problem that's gonna quickly go away. But yes, sir, we can revisit that.
Okay, so my point to that is that I would offer that we start much more aggressive than what we may have originally thought in the amount of time. I don't have a specific day in my amount of days yet in mind, but I feel like we should start more aggressive and come back later as we see how it works. I would not want to come in and say, we're gonna say 90 days, and then we've seen no change, except now we're paying for 40 kennels instead of 25 or 30, or that we're spending more money.
We'll always
And
pay
well, let me
I
retract
know,
that.
but we'll always pay for more.
My point was that we're spending more money and we haven't accomplished anything. So my
I
point to that
understand.
would be that we would start more aggressive and have an open mind to being more lenient if the spay and neuter program works and the population gets under control, because I agree, our top priority has to be the safety of the people and the public. And I got a few calls when the wild dogs were running.
we
And there
all
were
did.
some
We all
young
did.
people, old people, that were very much terrorized at watching their pets being torn apart. My daughter had a cat that was torn apart by those dogs, and thankfully the kids didn't witness it, but there were some people that witnessed it happening.
Oh, yeah.
So my point to that is, the most important thing to me is to protect our people. We've had dogs our whole entire life, so I'm a pet lover. But we have to be realistic, as Mr. Gonsalves said, and it's not a endless checkbook balance that we can just keep next year 400,000, next year 500,000, the year after that 1 million. So we have to be practical
It can't happen.
in our approach. So I'm asking that as we have this discussion, that we think a little bit more on the more aggressive amount of time, being less time, until we can get the population, because it disturbs me when the lady who spoke publicly earlier said that the kennels will always be full. So if we take a lighthearted, well, we're just gonna throw a Band-Aid on it, well, 6 months from now, a year from now, we will be in the same place we are now as far as the population, the wild dog, loose dog, dangerous dog population on the streets is gonna be the same as what we are now, if we don't take a more aggressive approach to it. And the only thing we will have changed is how much money we're spending. So I would ask, I do have another question, is the dog catcher, is that a 24-hour service? Or will that just be like a regular hour service in case it's an emergency?
Probably.
a biter?
Again, I'm talking to a couple of different avenues, and
Yeah.
I am being creative. A combination.
Yeah.
In
So,
other
like on
words,
call if there's an
we would have
emergency.
someone that responds to those CAD tickets that the police are calling in, or to our,
Right.
all of you will call in as well. I mean, like we always do with every work order and anything else we do. The general public will call in. I mean, there's a whole lot of that. So this person will respond to those CAD tickets in the order they arise, unless there's an emergency. If there's an emergency, they're going after the vicious dog. On the weekends, I have various ideas, and I'm fleshing out a few things. Yes, we will have someone that will have to go out on call on the
Right.
weekends. Sometimes it might get prioritized, that if they can't get to all of them, it just depends. I mean,
Yeah,
at
sure.
first, what I envision is we're gonna be overloaded.
Right.
In other words, when you ride around every district in this town, there's dogs running around loose all over. Once they realize, this is how it always is. A problem's a problem, but when you step up to fix the problem, then, they wear out the fixer, okay? But because no one's, it's a huge problem. So you can bet at first, I mean, whoever, does this, I pity them, because at first, it's gonna be easy to fill up those 40 kennels.
Well, that's what I'm playing.
Why I wanted
That's
to
where you're
start, I know
Yeah.
that, is why I want to start these discussions, because we're already getting on to Dan bringing up, we're going to use Facebook, this,
Right.
It's a combination of trying to use every tool. How can we, and I like Ricky's idea of incentivizing, how can we get adoptions up compared to where they are, and maybe we can't, but how can we try to get adoptions up? How can we do some things in the city a little differently and get creative with it, that we are making that attempt, at the same time, spending the money, getting our own dog catcher, I think is huge, because, their dog catcher has over 1,000 hours of comp time right now. Yeah, almost 2,000 hours of comp time. Well, that shows you right there, they're not winning the battle, okay? So, those challenges will be ours. On the flip side, it's the combination of everything. A little bit of spay and neuter, because we don't have a lot of money for that. Our own dog catcher, balancing hopefully some creative ways to enhance some adoptions. It's all of that together that it's gonna peck at the problem. But we are taking on at least to start, a
Yes.
huge task.
So I'm just.
And I do realize that.
I'm just playing that out
Yeah,
in my
no.
mind that
That's what I need.
if we're picking up 4 dogs a day, for easy math, in 10 days, our kennels will be full.
Mm-hmm.
And that dog catcher will not be able to do anything else.
Yeah, well.
Because in 10 days, the
And
kennels, so we
it's
have,
gonna
we
be
can't,
on us. Yeah,
it
but
can't be an
it's-
unlimited amount of time.
Control that situation. So it's gonna be on us to call our vet, to say, come over, to look at what dogs we're trying to move, what dogs we can't move, and make some decisions, because, a victory's gonna be 3 or 4, hopefully they're adopted, or they were so vicious they had to go, but a victory is gonna be, we have 5 empty kennels, go on those next 5 runs to get the next 5 dogs off the street. But I really see already, you fighting this in inches. You're not fighting, this is a never-ending battle. You will never be able to pick 40 dogs up and adopt 40 dogs out and go pick up 40 more dogs. I mean, it's gonna be a slow process, and we unfortunately, I like them myself, but we unfortunately have a ton of pit bulls all over town. They're hard to adopt, they got a bad track record. I mean, we had one, it was a good dog. My daughter had one for 15, 16 years. But I do know that, when I ride around and I'm looking and knowing that we're doing this, and I'm riding around, it doesn't take long I rode through town one day this week and I saw 10 pit bulls. So I'm like, okay, well, I know that, these 10 big boys are gonna get picked up pretty quick, but they are gonna be hard to adopt. I mean, I didn't look at their disposition, I'm just riding around looking at them, okay? But, so in a way, to start anyway, it's gonna be a gain of,
Right. So the reason why I'm presenting it the way I am is that
because you know that.
I would just want that to weigh into
Yes, sir.
the council members' decision-making process, that it's not practical to keep the dogs for 30 days, 60 days. It's gonna have to be something
Yeah.
more, at the beginning at least, until we can get the situation under control. Because I keep hearing the kennels will always be full. Well, we're not serving the people as the best we can. If we keeping dogs for
Well,
90 days,
at least
there's still
for-
dogs running
At
wild.
least for the 2-year contract, if you do the math, you can't pick them up, and you'll be making a dent in the dogs in town and the dogs on the street, but you will never if we have, you know, how many loose, that's the big thing. How many loose dogs do you think we have in the city of New Iberia?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to figure that out, and it is probably mind-boggling. So if it's hundreds of dogs, okay, which it well could be, then you're gonna cycle them out 40 at a time, one way or another. Well, that's why I can say for 2 years, your kennels are gonna be full.
Right, so my point to that is, what
But I
I've been
wanna be
trying,
moving them and moving some along for adoption, moving some along for, you know, all the various options, but it's gonna take a while.
right, so,
I just don't want anybody to think that in 6 months our problem's gonna be fixed, you know, and our bill's gonna go down. That's never gonna happen.
No.
That's all my point.
No, I'm
Doesn't
just-
mean we can't be more effective and make a difference, but, you know.
so I'm just trying to weigh in on the amount of days
Appreciate it.
that we working, because it's, you know, we've talked briefly, and nobody had a, you know, a conviction about how many days was the magical number.
I understand?
So my point to that is that as we want to be emotional, sympathetic, and kind to the animals, to be spending this amount of money and keeping in mind that our job is to protect the public, is gonna be, we have to, in my opinion, we should work on a more aggressive amount of lesser days, because of the fact that if we picking up only 4 dogs a day, in 10 days, they'll be full. And if we gotta wait 90 days for those 40, then we defeating the purpose. We will not accomplish anything except spend more money. So we're gonna have, in my opinion, we're gonna have to be more aggressive in our timeline, minimizing it.
That's why we're
And
bringing.
I don't say that lightly.
I understand.
I don't say that lightly. So the other thing was, just a thought was, if you're looking for a way to possibly do the vouchers for the spay and neuter, we could maybe get a stamp, like a notary stamp with the seal of New Iberia, and put that on there, whether there would be something that they wouldn't be able to duplicate by copy.
Okay, we got a notary. We can notarize every one. Yeah, we'll.
Could just
thank
get,
you,
get a
thank you.
stamp with the city of New
Yeah,
Iberia on it.
yeah, I have
We'll
one.
make an official document.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I agree. We have a problem, okay, that we need to deal with citywide. But of course, that brings about a lot of questions in order to get the solutions we need. My questions are, the veterinarian, do we have a cost on that? Or we will be working on a cost if it's not
I have a
donated?
vet who's willing to help us now, and I don't know that there is a cost. I did put a little something in my budget just because nobody does something, I mean, the man's got
Correct.
to make a living. But I already have a vet who's already agreed and
Committed.
I've already met with and is committed to do that for us.
Yeah, well, this will be cost-driven, I'm more than sure. Okay, now, also with the chips, every dog that we pick up, whether it be for neuter and spading, or whichever, we require that it be chipped as well. Can we do that?
I don't think we do that.
But can we do it?
Well, I don't want to chip them if we pick them up and we're not going to keep them.
Well,
You know, I mean, in other words, the ones that are, again, we on that morbid subject, the ones that are too old or too vicious, well, I'm not gonna spend any money chipping them because we're gonna have to
Well,
put them down.
Upon adoption. Upon adoption.
You know, but upon adoption, we could chip them, you know.
the reason why I asked is that a lot
I
of
wouldn't do it
times,
when we pick them up.
a lot of times you're gonna get reoccurrences of the same dog.
Right.
And we want to be able to track that because then the expenses add up
Right.
continuously. And we don't need that because of the cost
And if the dog gets
associated
picked
with
up again, you can.
the dog catcher. You know, I know you had your ideas and everybody spoke on that basically too. Seemingly with the 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, and Mayor, I know you got your own ideas on that. I don't know if it's in-house, someone that's already,
No, it won't be in-house.
but it seemed like that would be at least 2 employees, I'm thinking.
I think I'm gonna be okay.
Roughly, okay. All
And
right.
look, if
We'll
it
leave that
doesn't
for another
work,
day.
I'm gonna give you the caveat that I have a couple of paths I'm going down. I'm not fleshed out yet, so I'm not talking about them. But when I can, if that doesn't work, I'll morph. In other words, I will start with an employee, and I've got a plan. or a contract, and we'll just see how it goes. I realize that that's the hinge pin, because if that doesn't work, we got more issues. That's why I haven't brought that cost yet. I'm gonna concentrate on the parish's cost right now. And then once I got something fleshed out, I'll be bringing it. But I do agree with you, because that's what you're thinking. If we have a problem that it's not working, that could be the problem with the fluid dogs. It might be the dog catcher. If it is, then I'll come back and we'll adjust.
Along with that chipping that I was looking at also, and the reoccurring events, I think we should possibly penalize for reoccurring events, because the customer, everybody should be responsible for the dogs that may get out, get away, to help, alleviate this cost as much as we possibly can, because it will be a burden on us tremendously. That was one thought that I had. And of course, like I said, that chip, the tracking system, if we can do that, it may help us to some degree because of the reoccurring.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that with all the ideas that you're coming tonight, you'll come back to us again, and with another list similar to what you got, as we have time to think through this.
Yep.
But I appreciate you taking the
Well,
time
what
to
you're gonna
put it.
get is all this will be in the contract. In other words, as a resolution, we can pass as a resolution, so I can send it to get it going, saying it might morph some more. We can wait till another meeting if we want to. We got a choice. But either way, all of this is gonna be in the contract, so that everybody knows, even if it's just in the contract, it's an attachment that this is what we're doing.
Right.
I think that's important, because you have to buy in, the public has to know what we're doing. Everybody involved who's been, some people have been involved in this issue forever, as volunteers or as, whatever. So, and there've been a lot of past employees. I think everybody needs to know where we're heading, and that's the point of coming up with, our own little game plan. 'Cause we're a shelter in a shelter. We're a hotel in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
One service we can give them, if someone adopt a dog, are they spaded, neutered, or can we do that as a
Yes,
service?
There would be, yes,
All of
yes,
them. Every adopted dog? Okay.
yes.
That's part of the fee right now, that you pay whenever you adopt them.
Yeah.
You get a
But
waiver.
if we would pay for them to adopt it, give them that service
So
so they
waiving
don't
the
have to
fee
pay.
basically for whoever's adopting them, because we're paying for the fee? Is that what you mean?
What's that?
We would waive the adoption fee because we're paying for the fee?
I'm just trying to see, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Should try to get more people to adopt a dog at no cost
right.
to them, but
Can I?
Sure.
You mind? I would just say if we're giving vouchers out for spay and neuter, we could offer that as part of our incentivizing people to waive that cost.
And this year, we have $20,000.
Right.
In a stray dog.
So we're giving vouchers out for people to do that, so
Yeah,
that might fit
Yeah,
what the attorney's saying, what Mr. Gonsalas was saying.
right,
That would be a win-win in multiple avenues.
yeah.
That's on top of the 277, just remember that. That's right.
Right. But out of the,
No, we
but
just
out
gotta
of the
figure it
20,
out. I mean, only, yeah. I
but out of the
understand.
20.
Yeah, well, the little 20's gonna be gone. The 20,
Hopefully,
we print
quick.
those tickets and starting that now, because I
Hopefully,
think it's important.
quick.
I'm hoping, now, all of those will have a timestamp on them, because I got no much money I got out.
Right.
A couple of people who've run these programs said they gave out a bunch of vouchers, they didn't have a timeline, and then they didn't know if they had any money left, because, when are these people gonna come? So they're gonna have an expiration date, then we'll have to reissue
There's
or advertise
utilization.
again.
You have utilization.
Yeah.
They gotta use
Like
it.
a gift certificate.
Yeah, like a gift certificate. Yes, sir.
Couple things in the discussion.
He's unrested.
I'm unrested. I would expect that when we initiate this contract, that we have 40 empty kennels to start.
How many dogs we got in there now?
Well, you don't know, nobody knows. How you know it's a city of Parish dog there right now?
They are documented.
Whatever, I would hope for that we have a fresh start with 40 empty kennels moving forward. I would hope that we come up with a enforcement policy that we can, in check on how our kennels are being maintained and the city pets are being taken care of, so that we can, know that they're being addressed in whatever ways that the state requires that. I thought of the idea that possibly, in what Mr. Como said on the days, that if we would go, say, if we have 40 kennels, maybe when we reach 35 kennels, we get a notice saying, hey, listen, we had 35 kennels, we got 5 more kennels. We're gonna have to make a move in to address population control, make sure all the adoption agencies are notified at that time, you know, last call, whatever, so that we can maintain some empty kennels moving forward. They haven't been, and with that policy in place, the rescue, operations say, listen, we can't let them get to 35, we gotta expedite our operations to get these pets rescued. Instead of setting a certain day, we setting just a protocol on kennels open, kennels occupied, and we can control population. Now, will it be short-lived at the beginning? You're probably right, it will be. I mean, I don't wanna see that, but if we come up with some kind of policy to assist the rescue operations, we can maybe maintain that. And so that's just my thought, instead of coming up with a specific day. I know,
Our CAD tickets are gonna show me every day, because that's why I'm running it through dispatch.
Right.
So my CAD tickets and my dog catcher already have started, I don't have one yet, but I'm working on the forms. I've already thought about it and worked on, you know, they're gonna fill out something every week. We'll know every
Right.
day from our
Right.
person. Because what I wanna know is what caller you want.
that's right,
What I wanna know is if I had 10 calls, I wanna know how many you serviced.
correct.
I mean, that's our checks and balance for our employee, is, you know, what number are you on and where you at and what you're doing about the ones you didn't get to. So we'll be able to get a good count, which will tell us how many kennels, you know.
Yeah, from a map, we need that.
I
You know,
totally
so,
agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, and just, I know the parish is building a new kennel, some new kennels, so I would hope, they were saying that it's for the large dogs with energy and, with walking unit. I would hope that they split them up equally for whenever we adopt large dogs, that they have access to the bigger kennels and not put into the small ones. So I'm hoping that we can negotiate with the parish where we get some of the larger kennels for our larger animals, so of the 40. And, you know, we'll have to negotiate that, but I think everything that I've heard from tonight is workable. I'm sure we'll have some hinge pins, but I think at the end of the day, if we can get some of these accomplished, we can also provide a relatively good service and protect the pets from adoption. There's a fine line, I understand, but I think that it's a hard goal to say that we can achieve, but at the beginning, it's gonna be passively aggressive to get control of the situation. I mean, the situation's been out of control for too long, and, I got dogs and cats, and so I'm passionate about pets as well, like Mr. Como said, but as a realist, we're gonna have to control the situation and then move from there as it gets better. And, but I could be surprised in that, with the new, and what, Freddie has said, we had talked to Mr. Richard, and we're gonna have our own set of resolutions for the city that we're gonna follow according to our specs. And the parish is gonna maintain their according to what they do. So there may be some differences on how it operates. But one question is, that we need to think about how we're gonna handle though is, if our dog catcher catches a dog, say, on Highway 14 and from a house, and they know that dog belongs to somebody in the parish, so that's now a parish dog, what do we do? Do we bring it to the shelter, say, it is a parish dog, or or we take a city kennel? Because it could be, they don't know the property line, so if they come to my house and I know it's Jack's dog that lives on Rhinella Road, I know it's his dog, what do? We put it in our city kennel, so we just need to think about that.
Okay.
Think about how we're gonna handle that.
Those are the city limits.
Turn him loose in the city limits.
Yeah, let him go.
Turn him loose in the city limits.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Cool hand, Luke. Send him on his way. All right, this has been a good discussion on a very touchy subject, but something we gotta deal with. Appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's honesty. I will work on the list further, letting I watch the meeting and kind of come up with, a new little list. So we can bring that back. So I guess we won't vote on this tonight. We'll bring it back, and then what I would like to do though is I don't wanna let any grass grow on this. So in 2 weeks, I'll bring it back. And then I would like to get this part done, because then at least I know I have a document to send to the parish, through the attorneys, to send to the parish president, so that I can figure out where we are. You know, if all this flies, if something doesn't, if I have to adjust my plan, if I have to come back to you, this is a start, and to me, this is the proper way to negotiate something. So I'll bring it in 2 weeks. We'll try to pass it in 2 weeks. We'll send it to the parish. We'll get their opinions on it and go from there.
So I need to make a motion to table it for 2 weeks?
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to table this, resolution.
To defer,
20
not
to
table.
Defer.
Defer.
Defer 25-152 for 2 weeks for further discussion.
Have a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, George.
I take.
Councilman Ron Davis? He had it.
No, that's good.
So is there any discussion on this? Then please vote your machines. Thank you. And thank you for a really good discussion. It's a complicated issue. How much,
And listen, can I make a comment? So.
Yes, sir.
If any of the general public has any suggestions, feel free to reach out to us. We open, our ears are open, and we take calls, and let us know what your ideas are, because we serving the people.
Or if you want a dog.
Yeah, if
Or if you
dog,
want a
yeah,
dog,
just
you're
wait.
right.
I can help you find a dog right now.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jeff.
All right, Madam Clerk, 5A.
Introduction of ordinance number 2025-30, an ordinance amending the City of New Iberia Code of Ordinances related to the storage of tires at tire businesses and setting for public hearing on December 2nd, 2025.
I need a motion. So move.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Dan Dahl. It's always you most of the time. I do that all the
At least you
time.
didn't call me his name this
I
time.
didn't.
That's the second time.
I just said Mayor Pro Tem because it's always you. And Councilman Troy Como, who was that? Or was it Councilman Warren White? Thank you,
Just
Councilman
being
Warren White.
passively aggressive.
You are, man. You are. It's all good. Okay, this is our new power ordinance that we would like to pass. Remember, the two things we're trying to, the two challenges we're trying to face are the tire shops that are popping up everywhere that have tires outside piled up. It's unsightly. It's not safe. The other thing is that we want a really stiff fine for tire dumpers so that our police, not that they aren't already, but I am trying to put a stop to that and get our police department utilizing our crime cameras and stop some of this dumping if we can. So what's in front of you, open it up for discussion. Yes, sir.
So, Mayor, we implementing this change, and I see there's a 12-month period before they have to go with these new changes. Legally, with the existing business, is it the timeline that we decided, or legally we have to give them that timeline because they're not grandfathered in because they've been there for 40 years? I'm just wondering about the new
Well, we
ordinance.
put conditions and ordinances and rules. I mean, that's what we do.
But it has to be 12 months, or can it be less?
I guess
Where
it
that
could
12
be-
months came in?
We just wrote it in that we thought that was a reasonable amount of time for somebody who's been stacking tires. Yes, sir.
I don't know. I don't know what that time
But that's where
limit
it
would
came
be. Yeah, there was a court decision having to do with a Lafayette ordinance that was fencing for junkyards. And the argument in that case by the junkyard owner was, I've been doing this forever, and now you have this new rule, and I should be grandfathered. And the court said, no, it's a new rule, so, a past violation is not, the time is not run on enforcement yet. And in that particular case, they did have a 12-month period where they educated people who had those businesses about what the new requirements were gonna be, and I know that passed muster. So, I think it's a good way to do it. I think it's a practical way to do it. I know it worked in the fencing around junkyards case in Lafayette. This is a nice piece of work that I didn't do, because this was the mayor and Laney putting this together, based on other people's ordinances, but, I'm not sure.
I have no problem. I was just wondering if we had to implement a time period since they're pre-existing.
I just think it's a fair thing to do because you're asking somebody to change the way they've done
Yeah.
something.
I saw,
But having done it for 10 years is not gonna help them in this case.
okay,
Right.
that's what I need to know. And so any tires that I read this, and I'm all for this because I caught a lot of heat from that at one time. They have to chain all the tires so no one can take them. It says right here in number C,
Chain them. I thought you had-
it says you have to
Chain
secure
them.
the tires. Storage of tires, and it's at A, B, and C. C says something about,
Still
so they
says
can't
in
be
there?
stolen or chained, so they have to chain all the
Okay,
tires.
well, I really wanted them, I guess I really want them inside the building.
Oh, yeah, but you said inside or,
That was
I
an
know,
option.
I know. I think we should change that.
See, I do read stuff.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
We read it so many times, I'm looking at it sideways.
Wait, so we're saying, so we can change that, but they have to build a building to store them.
You can get a shipping container.
But whatever,
like
it
some
has
of
to be,
them do,
so.
but yeah, they
we're
gotta be
cha-
out of sight.
We're changing it for that,
Yes,
what you said, out of sight.
yes.
And
Trying to get them out of sight. I
We don't
really
want them
want
to
them
put a
to.
fence up and they be out of sight.
No, and really, I'm trying to, as a safety thing, I'm trying to get them contained, because loose behind a fence, you got 500 tires behind a fence, at least in a shipping container, they're not all gonna catch on fire at once. They're not, just think about if you had
No, I'm just
1,000
questioning
tires
that.
on fire.
I'm not questioning,
in a
I
stack.
think it's
No,
good.
no, but
I just don't want them to go and put a wooden fence in front of all these tires and say, hey,
I don't want that either.
okay.
What I really want them to do is take the money that they collect when they change the tires and call coat and get them hauled off.
So we might want to change that
We
one
will have to.
to inside a store building,
Well,
huh?
Can be a building, can be a shipping container,
Well, enclosed,
enclosed.
but enclosed mean roof, sides, everything.
Yes.
So, and you saying,
You have 'em
Mayor,
in B, you have 'em behind a fence.
Behind the fence,
On the fence.
on B
Yeah.
of the page, the first page.
That's what I read.
yeah, but we don't want that.
It says if tires.
Yeah, right now it's in there that they could be behind a fence, but I really would rather say that they gotta be stored.
And Mayor,
Yes, sir.
so our ordinance says about some of our easements for buildings or homes is 5 foot. So we saying it has to be 10 foot.
Yes. Just because it's a safety hazard. I mean, if those
Okay.
tires do
I-
catch on fire,
But,
you.
I mean, when you build a building, normally it's about 5 foot from the property line.
Well,
So,
we have areas of town that there is no setback.
yeah.
right.
We have areas in the commercial district that you can build right up to the line. But I think we can say, as a safety thing, I don't want the tires right at the line.
So even a
Not a building.
container cannot be at the
Correct.
5 foot or 10 foot.
Correct.
I mean, it has to be at the
City
10
attorney
foot.
got his hand
Well,
up.
it says no tire shall be stored closer than 10 feet from lot lines unless completely enclosed within a building. So, I mean, if you have
So
a
you're
building
in-
that's within
If you're in a
5 feet.
building, because you can build a commercial building up to the line.
But so if they do put a container, you
It could be
saying,
up- It could be up to the line, or whatever the setback is.
I think it should be.
Whatever the setback is.
At
Now, if
least
you
5
wanna
foot.
say, even in an area that doesn't have a setback,
Well, because what happens, someone has a property, well, you know a couple that has a, and they can put that container right next to the property line, next to the owner's other property, and,
but they could do that now.
yeah, but if we make a new ordinance, we just don't change it where they can't do it. No?
We could. If the attorney says we can.
I don't know, I'm just saying,
From the tires or the container? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You're asking.
I'm just questioning.
No, that's fine.
I think a big decision is, are you gonna require them to be in a building or enclosed?
Yes.
Because this does allow
I think I would
outside.
rather than, I brought what we found or what we
Yeah.
made a combination of. I personally would rather them in some kind of container or building,
I agree with you,
but
because it
it's
holds
open to
water,
discuss.
it holds
That's-
mosquitoes, snakes, rats, I mean, I agree with you, I have no problem with it. You know,
Okay, well, that's why we have, yes, sir.
I had a chance to look it over somewhat. How much of this is in our existing ordinance?
Absolutely none,
None
sir.
of it? Okay. I was just curious.
That's an easy question. We don't have anything.
No.
We have not regulated tires at all, which is a problem.
It seems like a lot of it's driven by a fire code or so, perhaps with the tires, and how close to the property line, being a hazard.
Well, it's
And I'm
also a
just
health
curious.
hazard because
Yeah,
you're
and health hazard as well,
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
With the mosquitoes and all that good stuff.
Unsightly, but it's not safe due to fires, and it's unhealthy due to mosquitoes and whatever else, rats, whatever.
And in regards to also what Mr. Dahl was saying, on C, it seemed like that was more or less related to theft on the
Yeah,
customer
we're gonna
benefit.
take that one out.
Huh?
With the chain, we're gonna take that one out.
Why not? I mean, why not leave it there?
Well, we don't
Because
want them
then
exposed.
there won't be, then you're not regulating them to put them in a building, and it's not protective of fire, it's not protective of mosquitoes.
That's not how I see it, but anyway, go for it. I'm good.
As we have choices, and I think we need to do something, but that's why I just bring it all and we hash it out. So nothing's in stone yet.
Right, well, I see that as a choice for the customer to lock them up, whether it be 10 foot from the property line or not, because more or less for security reasons. On that note right there, putting them in a building is also for security reasons. Now, but being so far from the property line, as was stated, with the 5 foot on a normal situation and 10 foot, I just question the fact, is that because of fire ratings as such, or because of the tires and such. So, and also I saw that we can go in and inspect for different reasons. I'm not sure what all that is, because I had the question on how does this affect or go into effect for the tires that we're finding on the properties per se? With the inspections that's going through in these buildings, will we be able to relate that information to the tires that we find on properties?
There's no serial number.
I don't know, when we go in and inspect
how,
the tires,
because-
what are we actually inspecting inside the buildings? We having a right to go in and do this, okay? So we're just looking for what? That's the question. What are we going into the buildings to inspect on these tires?
They might have tires outside the building.
Yeah, I think that's
Might
just
have
to,
tires stacked
I think the
outside
whole
the
point of that was just to make sure that they, as you're in a building, they're not stacking them behind the building, they're not, sticking them other places. But I don't think we have a way to track tires that are dumped in correlation with a tire shop's tires inside. They don't have chips in them, they don't have serial numbers. I don't think we have a way to correlate I think it's two different problems. I wish it wasn't, that'd be a good idea, but I don't think we can chip tires.
No,
We can chip dogs, we can't chip tires.
I tried to tie it to a driver's license, it didn't work.
Yeah. Who's next? Yes, sir.
So, after reading it, I had the audacity to call a couple of my tire dealers that I do business with and present it to them and ask them what they thought. And behold, and surprised me, they said it's long needed. They said, I'm willing to clean up, and these weren't the prominent ones. These are some mom and pop shop. Yeah, they said, I need to clean up. I need to put my containers in. They just said, be generally thinking about the business, but they are willing to do what they have to do to decompose the tires that they have commissioned. But what they did tell me was very interesting, and I asked them what the problem was, both of them what the problem were. And they said the problem with them is that they charge the customer a fee for disposal, and they get charged a fee as a dealer for disposal. And they're at the mercy of the collector to come pick up the tires. And the collectors are taking anywhere from 6, 8, 10 months to come pick up those tires annually. So they're sitting there waiting on the collector to come back pick up the tires, and there's no service running like Colt and the other distributors on a regular basis to pick up those tires, so they stuck with tires. And the other issue is that some of these dealers, a lot of their revenue is generated on reselling used tires. So that's why they keep an abundance of used tires. You see part of because they resell used tires at a lower cost to individuals so they're making a substantial amount of revenue on used tires. That's why you see so many tires exposed. But on the other hand, they said, we're willing to go ahead and store these tires in some manner to clean up, and they applaud our effort to try to do that. That's just two of them now. But I do think that the fees that are being charged, they need to be addressed, and we need to kind of document what's in the city now, because I'm definitely afraid if we enact this ordinance on too short of a period that these tires may disappear and end up in areas that we don't want them.
That's why I try to do the fine at the same time I
So,
do this.
and more importantly, my farm. So, I could have piles of tires down around. And I don't want that to happen. So I think that it's really a grace period to get this adapted and move forward. We really need to consider it. And what that is, I don't know, sure. But I did, was surprised to know that the time that the people are picking the tires was delayed. So that could be possibly a call to the state because the state regulates them, to get these guys that are picking up tires to set a set schedule that they pick up once a week, once a month, whatever, so we can move these tires out of our community. Just a thought.
Thank you. See, the new tire shop on Main Street that we were all deathly afraid of, okay?
He's on top.
He's on top of his game. I see the cold truck there often. He gave me encouragement because I said, we can do this and it'll work, and I got a tire shop that's actually doing it. Because really, I see the truck there often. They pick up every tire at night. They bring them back in. They have no tires on site at night. They have no problem, and they do a lot of business. Those people are open 7 days a week. They rolling. They control their tires, so I think it can be done.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Has anyone spoken to Coke to find out what their policies are?
I have not. I have not.
Be some good information.
Yeah, just to know what the accuracy of what you hear. and
Exactly.
What rebuttal we make.
Because it seems to be working with some people.
Right.
So the other point was that the storage containers will probably be close. The storage containers will probably be close in cost to putting a fence up around a big yard, and a lot more durable than a fence. So
Yeah, plus they out the weather. A
right,
fence doesn't get them
exactly.
out
So
the
it's
weather.
a multiple
Still got the
of
mosquito
wins.
problem. If they're trying to resell some of them, they're better off in a shipping container.
Right.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I wish we could look at, the 10-foot and the 5-foot. Because some of these properties that we know about, they're not that large to begin with.
Okay.
So if they have a shipping container and they gotta be 10 foot from the property line, that doesn't, that, to me, if we ask them to get this expense of doing a container, and if you had normal business, you can put a building to 5 foot, I think that would be something, if you thought it would be flexible for them to be able to do, because that's really what our ordinance is on most businesses or buildings is 5 foot.
Especially if it's in a container.
Yeah, and that would give them a little bit more space, maybe to put 2 containers.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yes.
If we
yes.
can address that, I don't think it's gonna affect what we're trying to do, but maybe let them be able to have more space on their property that can be used
Right.
than,
Okay.
than that. I don't
Well,
think,
it says 10 feet unless enclosed.
Yeah. The way that part I like, because you could.
but
squeeze it
enclosed
tight.
can be 1 foot.
Yeah, which if it's enclosed and it's inside a shipping container, my fire risk is down greatly.
But I just don't know if it'd be cool to have a container 1 foot from the property that you have.
Well, if you have no setback, you could have a building there at any time. If you have 5 foot or 10 foot setback, that's what it is.
Yeah, if you do, we don't know that.
Yeah. Well, like in the commercial areas, I know there's in some areas where there's no setback, so.
Yeah.
You face with that when you
I
buy
just
the
don't want to
property.
make, yeah, you know.
I understand. No, I'm open
If they have the
to,
flexibility of getting
I am-
closer,
I'm flexible,
I think
whatever.
would be fine if that, have that in there.
So where you think you want them, 5 feet away?
Well, no, he said, Jeff just read, I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, but
It's in,
you have a choice,
D.
you know.
You have a choice, yeah.
Yeah, we have a choice, in other words.
Yeah.
If it bothers you that they're too close.
No, I mean, I just want them to be able to use their property if we making them go
Yes,
to
sir.
this level. So if that addresses that, I'm fine with it.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna let everybody speak and then I'll
All
come
right, go
back,
ahead.
just traffic comment. Anybody who hadn't spoken yet? Wanna speak? Okay, then I'll start repeating. Did you speak once already?
Already, yeah, I thought everybody.
Okay, well, then, he just had his hand up first, so I'll let him go.
No, that's fine.
Yes, sir, Councilman Davis.
Well, yeah, Mayor, in regards to the storage of tires, looking in this session, it says according to local, state, and federal laws. So when we offer the permits and stuff, I'm assuming it's according to what state and federal laws are. And seemingly, looking at it, you know, which is basically governed by Louisiana DEQ, which seems like it takes into account everything that you're saying here. So with what Mr. Dahl was saying there, I think we have to take into account first what the state and federal laws are saying and adopt it into our ordinance. I mean, it seems more than fair, because that's what we're asking them to do, follow state and federal laws. So whatever that says is what we need to. And our local, which could supersede but not go under it, I would believe. So when we offer, when the business come in and apply for their permit or license to operate, we need to make sure that that's there, you
Yeah,
know.
well,
and
we're
what's
doing
there.
this for all the businesses, the
Correct.
ones that already have their
Correct.
occupational license or their permits or whatever.
And they should be adhering
New
to
ones
it,
as well.
but they should be adhering to it already.
but we don't have it in place for them to adhere to.
But the state and federal does.
But they don't cover this. We're putting something in place that we want, which we can do. Yes, Jeff?
I took a look at the state law real quickly, but I don't think it governs storage.
It doesn't.
It
That I could
governs
see.
disposal, it governs the fee that can be charged and things like that. And, some of this is hazardous materials, which is gonna be covered by state and federal law, but, the storage and enclosure, I don't think is covered by state and federal law.
No, it's something we're putting in place.
That's what the state says right now.
What's that? Yeah, but I think we can be tighter than this.
Well, you can.
That we can be a lot tighter than that.
Yeah.
You can always make something stronger than it is.
Yeah,
You just
locally,
can't- yeah.
locally, we have a choice, and if we want to cover this, is which I think we all do, then we can do it.
Yeah.
We gotta pass it, and we gotta, give people time to react to it, but. Any more discussion? Yes, sir.
So, I also had one question from the guys I spoke to. Are we gonna charge a permit fee for them to put a container on their property since we require them to put tires in it?
I'd say no. I'd be so happy if they just did it.
Okay, just make sure we put that in there that, what you think, Jeff?
I don't think we have a fee for a shipping container.
They asked that.
I think we charge, just like we charge everybody else for every other shipping container. I
I
mean,
would too.
Which I don't know that we do.
I don't know that
I
we
think
do.
It's a movable
I didn't
item.
give 'em a- I didn't give 'em an
don't think,
answer.
I don't think we do. A shipping container is a movable item.
Yeah, I mean, I think
The
if you
whole
need a
point of it
building
is that you
permit, you
can
need a
pick it
building
back up.
permit. If you need a,
Right, you gotta fuck it
But
whatever.
if you don't, you don't.
If you don't, you don't.
Okay, that's what, also, one of the tire shops is doing a little bit different approach. He has a trailer, enclosed trailer on wheels. He puts his used tires in. When it's full, he takes them himself to dispose of them.
I'm fine with
So, I mean, in an enclosed
Still
container.
needing it,
don't
yeah.
matter.
Still needing it.
I'm fine with that. If they all did that, that would be a solution.
No, so that's what he's chose to do.
That
So,
would be a transportable collection container.
yeah, I mean, we need to put that, make sure that's approvable.
It's in there.
It's in
Yep.
there.
Enclosed, transportable collection container.
Yeah. Enclosed, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna have some adjustments to do. Next time, I'm gonna bring the penalties for dumping tires. We decided that this was complicated, so we thought, I'd like to talk about it a little bit.
That's my question.
Yeah. That's coming next.
All right.
That's coming next. Now, what I thought we'd do was kind of go over this. We left some parts of it vague, now we kind of know where to head. So we'll redo this one, and then the other one, I'd like to talk about it for a second, is, we need to think of what we want as, what is a reasonable penalty for people who get caught dumping tires. So they're on private property, they're dumping tires, we have a constant problem with this. We gotta prove it, I realize that, the crime cameras can prove it, or a police officer catching them in the act. We have no chips, they got no serial number, we gotta prove it's them. But let's say we can, okay? So before I bring that and it becomes a big giant thing, I'd like to know what y'all think about how much should the penalty be?
First, they gotta be charged with no trespass.
Yeah, and we will hit them for everything we can. This is something that we gotta stop and we need to make an example of.
Well, if we know it
Yes, sir.
came from a particular location, we already have this in place where it's $50 for each occurrence.
I know,
That we can
but
apply.
what I want is just the guy that, because we don't know where they're coming from. I want the guy in the pickup truck that didn't get them from, I don't know where he got them from, because that's happening. I mean, when they're throwing 10 tires on an empty lot, that I don't know if, it could be a guy who changes his own tires. Could be a guy that's a kind of an outlaw little tire guy, and we do have some of those that don't have a shop. They just run around doing that. So we just need to think, I mean, if $50 per tire is what we want to do, that's fine. If we want to hit them for more,
What our litter.
No mercy.
Fees, our litter fines. Our litter fines runs about, what, $200 for littering?
don't know.
That's what this is.
Yeah, but I can make it worse and we can make it,
Exactly.
because the tires are a bigger problem. we are spending tons of money because we gotta pick them up, then we have to rent a dumpster, then we have to pay the tire fee. So
$50 minimum.
tires are a lot more expensive than litter to get rid of,
Right.
you know.
Per tire.
No mercy.
That's what I say.
I have no mercy on somebody
I don't
intentionally
either, but I don't
gonna
wanna go
load
crazy.
their,
I wanted some
Listen,
input.
somebody who's gonna intentionally, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
No, that's gonna
I'm supposed to-
intentionally load
it's
their
my fault.
truck.
I'm supposed to be the traffic cop, so, Councilman Troy Cole.
No, I have no mercy on someone who's gonna intentionally load their truck and go in the middle of the night and dump it on somebody else's property.
I don't either.
No mercy.
Okay,
It's never gonna be too high for me.
one at a time. Okay, good to know. One at a time. Who's
Yeah,
next?
that's,
And if we don't set an example
Right.
and send the message out, it ain't gonna scare them. So we gotta incite the scare fear in them so they continue, stop doing it. Because what's happening is some of the small tire shops are hiring people to go pick up tires and dump them.
Yeah, it's not the tire
You
shop.
know,
I
it's
know
the
that.
tire
That's
shop.
why I
You
want-
come pick up 20 tires, $20 a tire, get rid of them. I don't care where they go. So that's where the problem's at.
To dump the body middleman.
you're right.
Okay, who's next?
Because fast as they pick them up in my district, it's some more, they dump some more in the district, and they do about 30 and 20, you know,
I don't
Making it somebody else's problem.
yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So we need
think-
to put it
I
up.
think, sometimes you go to tire shop, I don't know what they charge, $5, $8?
$8 a car tire, $8 a car tire.
And so if they take those tires, don't take my tires, I want them. You can take your tires. And then, so we have to make it high because we want to make it so expensive that it's gonna be worth them leaving those tires at the tire shop.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I make a motion of $100 a
Yes.
tire.
Okay, well, that's why we're here. I mean, you know.
Per
Or
tire.
tie, yeah.
It's kind of
Yes,
a
sir.
prosecutor question too, so. That's a Nicole Burke question too.
Yeah, because I guess you're right. They could be a limit. She can say we went over and above what we were supposed to do.
Pretty tough.
I don't think so.
She's pretty tough, though.
It's our ordinance, you gotta enforce, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think we ought to talk to her.
Yeah, what we're gonna do, again,
Call her-
looking at next
call her right
time,
now.
If I have that amount, then I can clear that with our city prosecutor. That's a good idea. And our city judge. Yes, sir.
I would ask for just a round number event, because I don't want, I wouldn't want it to be, well, I only had 2. No, we saw you with 4. Well, can we compromise at 3? Like, it's like $500 or $1,000. If you caught
You just
dumping
want-
1 tire or 20, it's
$1,000, whatever.
$1,000,
That's a
whatever it
quantity
is.
discount.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, yeah. So if you dump in 30, you don't get charged anymore? That's
Or,
And you gotta pick 'em up.
and certain days and a certain amount of days in jail. I'm good, whatever y'all want.
okay.
And you gotta pick them up.
Hey, man, a tire might have just flew out that truck.
Yeah, accidentally, on
You wanna
purpose.
put them in jail too?
You drive like some people.
Oh, my God. You can rob a house and go to jail less than having a tire out.
Well, we will have to fix that problem, Mr. Doyle.
Okay, boy, you want to hear this. Thank you, Lane. State law, $1,800, and you're responsible for the cost of removal, transportation, and processing of the
All
tire.
the state law.
So we gotta go.
Okay with that.
I'm
So
good.
is that a DA's office enforcement?
Where'd you find that?
1,800
Per occurrence.
for a car.
I think
Per
we get
tire?
some attention with that one.
Yeah, but the children
What's that?
gonna eat.
Not per tire.
The family's gonna suffer.
Yeah, now we're starving
Might
people.
taste good.
You got to cook them a long time.
That's per tire.
Per tire?
No, just
Per
a flat.
occurrence.
That's
Per
the
occurrence.
Flat,
Flat
just a
version
flat.
of a flat
If
fee.
it's- if
They
it's
just
one
made
tire,
it-
two
They
tires?
made it high enough, and plus you got to pay for the disposal of the tires. So if you do 30 tires, as I was saying,
Send to me, yeah.
They figured it out,
that's a little
$100.
crazy.
They figured only 18 tires to fit in the back of a pickup truck, so
There you go,
$100 a
Mr.
tire. That's how they did the
They
math.
must.
Good job, Mr. Gonsolin, I agree with you. I think that's.
Okay,
Because
so-
after 18, you ain't putting them.
I think we've been here a while, y'all not thinking straight.
Yeah. So we want a dollar amount?
Check with Nicole and see.
Well, let's look at this. I mean, I think tonight's issue is storage, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm bringing it next time. Okay, so we talked about storage, we had a general discussion about tires. I got the great feeling that we're gonna be tough. That's all I needed
I
to
was
know.
ready to vote.
Okay. Now we'll need to, defer. Somebody
wanna
make
do
a
a motion?
motion to defer this till the next meeting.
I move.
Second.
We got some changes to make. Well, we could introduce it and bring it back.
You could, well, so are
Just on the storage, we could introduce it and then we
big-
could refine it, that would
vote
get
to
it done.
introduce it, yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah,
vote, if that's
if you
okay.
could strike the part that allows outdoor storage.
Yes,
And
yes.
introduce it,
Let's do that.
that would move it.
I withdraw my motion.
So I need a motion to amend.
Move.
Dan Dahl. Councilman Troy Como, that's to amend to strike the area about the outside, storage. Everybody okay with that? Then please vote your machines to amend. Okay, so now we can introduce the amended motion. So now I need a motion to
So move.
introduce.
So move.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and I need a second.
Second.
Councilman Troy Como. Is there any discussion on the amended motion? Everybody good with it, or the motion now? Vote your machines. Thank you, good, progress. And I'll bring, this will come back, and then we will bring the next one, which is the tire dumping. Okay, our next item, which is 5B,
Yeah, and I don't have that ready.
we are gonna have to strike that for this meeting. So,
What?
I know.
I
I'm
don't have
calling
my,
on our
yeah,
attorney.
we're working on that agreement. I don't have it put together. I don't have the homework done. We're not ready to do that yet.
How much is the fine for them, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, yeah. So that'll come back next meeting.
So we
That's 5D.
deferring or we table?
No, we're not tabling, never tabling.
No, that we deferring?
We're gonna defer that. I need a motion to defer to the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to defer.
Pro
Second.
Tem Ricky Gonsalas, Councilman Troy Como, so that'll be deferred to the next meeting. Any questions or comments? Please vote your machines.
Good, thank you.
You. All right. 6A, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2025-29, an ordinance approving the rezoning of property located at 201 and 203 Daspert Road from R3 Residential to C3 Commercial, as recommended by the New Iberia Zoning Commission.
This was approved by Planning and Zoning. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Do I have a second? Councilman Warren White. Is there any discussion on this item?
So that building was never commercial?
It had commercial activity on it, but it wasn't commercial.
Really?
Grandfathered in
It was
before
grandfathered.
zoning.
It was there, but zoning came in '83, so it was there
yeah.
before zoning.
Wow-wee.
It did read a little
They're
strange.
not tearing down
You know,
nothing
when I
else?
read, like, is that a typo? I know Laney doesn't make
Are they
typos,
tearing down
but
any other buildings besides the store?
No, she's selling it as is now.
Yeah, she's trying to sell it.
She
She
already
wanted to-
tore down, what used to be a
Yeah.
restaurant. It was a
Right,
store
right.
before then.
Right,
And then the building next door to it is also for sale.
yeah.
But it'd make a cute little something.
Oh, yeah,
I agree.
They already rent it out for, different
Events,
events,
yeah.
yeah.
I've been
yeah.
there.
Or if someone wants to like build a coffee shop, I could spend a lot of money there.
That's it.
A tire shop.
No, absolutely not.
Thank you, Dan.
thank you, Mr. Doyle.
This is absolutely
Would that
not.
property have one parcel?
Yeah, I guess is it gonna be one parcel or still two?
It's two, right?
It's
Still
two.
two, yeah,
Still two,
because I
too.
guess he could sell them separately, is probably why. she
Yeah,
did
201, 203.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's to change both of them.
yes. Everybody good with it? Please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 7A,
Babette LaStraps to present monthly budget to actual report for November 1st, 2024 through October 31st, 2025.
Hi, good evening.
good evening.
This report here is for the full 12 months of our fiscal year. We still getting some more invoices in, so there may be a few changes to the final numbers for the audit. But operating transfers have been posted. All the budget revisions are in that y'all have adopted for this fiscal year. Anyone have any questions?
Questions, comments?
Looks like the numbers are in the right direction.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Should we, next year's budget, should we, on the Pepperplex TIF, I see it's significantly a little bit lower on the TIF. Should we maybe budget a lower number next year for collections, or what are you anticipating?
We may need to, but let's finish out this,
I'm just seeing it's just a big,
get the final
we-
check-in from the school board
Okay.
on the TIF collections,
okay,
get it adjusted for the audit, and then, if we need to, we can do it a budget amendment.
all right.
And just, everybody's, I guess, got your property tax bills. All the property tax bills went out, people steadily coming in, pay their property taxes. They can pay it online.
A little bit earlier this year.
I'm so glad it's early, not at Christmas.
No, I got
Right.
a couple calls saying they were earlier this
Yeah,
year.
They
you
were,
know.
they were.
Right.
What you attribute that to, Babette?
Except for Christmas.
Last year, I think there were some issues. We can't send our property tax bills out until the parish does theirs. So I think there was a glitch or something last year with that. So that delayed us from sending them out.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Could we move the financial reports to the beginning of the meeting?
Yes, please.
No, I'll second that.
Just a thought.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have your sit go.
Okay.
They might take that under consideration.
Everybody good?
Yep.
I'm gonna get a big
Thank
present.
you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman's announcements.
She did not ask for that, Mr. Mayor. it just came to me that she's been sitting.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great idea.
I'll start with Councilman Andor.
Mayor, I know it's kind of early, but someone asked me, do you know the date of the Christmas parade?
December 13th.
Yeah. December 13th.
You asked me, I told you.
Yeah. Okay, that's really what I needed to know.
Okay.
We planted something and we
You gotta know.
gotta work around that date. Oh, Mayor, I have something else to ask. The bathrooms, the new bathrooms we built
Where, sir?
at,
Willie?
Bowling Plaza.
Uh-huh.
They stay locked during the day?
The two small bathrooms are open. The gates are locked on the big bathrooms. Okay, those are open and closed every day. The big bathrooms only open when there's a fair, festival, or event. So the only ones that are open are the two, there's one men and one's women, those two small ones. But the big ones, we don't open that every day because there's no point in having all that
So they're
square
open
footage.
24/7?
No, they are dawn to dusk. When our workers come, they unlock them and then they lock them. Remember, we had tons of issues in the original bathrooms that we made the visitor center out of.
With the
so-
time change, some people that walk.
Yeah. Well, I only have employees there for certain hours and, but they are locked and unlocked every day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The community event this weekend that AT&T put on was really nice. I'm glad to see the businesses putting back into the community, so I think that was a plus. Also had ran across an opportunity that was offered to some of the schools to go to see the Pelicans game tomorrow with the Denver Nuggets, okay? So being caught up into football playoffs and stuff, some of them weren't able to take advantage of it, but we do have quite a few kids that will be going there tomorrow, especially
neat.
from this. It
Cool.
is.
That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
So, just Mr. Broussard's here in the audience tonight, and I want to see if y'all haven't noticed that they are starting the process of installing the crossing arms on Field Street and the other two streets. The pads are dug, the poles are up. That's been a project that he had a passion for, and we talked about it for a long time. I'm sure the issue with Carolina will be down not too far soon, hopefully. But they are coming up. The general public's gonna see some new crossing arms, and we'll have some safer streets moving forward. And thank you, Mr. Broussard, for what you did in pushing that initiative.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Yes, sir.
And to follow up on that note, the house on Elm Street, the notice of demolition was posted on the property in the last day or so. So
Great.
we should see demolition on that, another one of Mr. Broussard's projects that he worked on for many years. So we're looking forward to getting that done and spending
Myself.
all of that demolition money.
Yes. We are too, so that we can apply for more.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I got two announcements. Consolata, they're having a Thankful Thursday community bingo with a twist, and the prize is meal for Thanksgiving, like turkey, pies, and different stuff. That would be the prizes. The win is at on the 20th of November at 3:00. That's when it starts. Consolata, nursing home. And okay, the second one is here with the love of people. We partnership with the city, and we having Thanksgiving meal. We're giving out on Thanksgiving Day. I'll be at the Weston Park giving out meals, and they would have different sites. They have on corner of Hopkins and Robinson, Bank Street Park, the corner Ann and Etna Street, Generate Chambers of Commerce, and also Lazaro Church in Olivia. We're at a Hope on Atmodal Drive. That's a different location. You can go just pick up a meal, no question asked. Just pick up a meal, and we give you 2 meals, one for lunch and one for later.
All right.
Just come on, it don't matter who you are, just come and get a meal on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm giving up a little time just to help out the people in the community.
That's so nice.
Thank you.
For that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This Friday, the Iberia Homeless Shelter is having their annual fundraiser, Heart for the Homeless. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all there. Also, Darby Lane, I saw, is finally on the list to
Yes,
get
ma'am.
fixed.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
exciting. I know a lot of people never thought this time would come. I didn't either for a second, but it's coming, so I'm excited for that. Did y'all watch Brandon Spencer on TV?
Yes.
That's our little hometown hero last week. That was super cool that he was on national television.
It was.
So, great job, Brandon. Also, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. That's next week already. So, y'all enjoy time with your family.
And you as well.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Hey, I have one little question.
Yes, sir.
I was somewhere and they had a train passing by these people's home where we were visiting. And they said there's I don't know if it's a law or ordinance, it's probably an ordinance. If all the cross arms are at every track, you don't need to blow the whistle through the town.
I don't know if that's true or not, sir.
Huh?
How will you know till you get to 'em?
ChatGPT.
Or do you have them all with cross arms throughout?
Which at some point we will.
And then at that point,
Thanks to
you
Mr.
can
Broussard.
request for them not to blow the.
Oh, not the blow the whistle.
Okay. I don't know if
Just
that's
something
true or
To
not.
look forward to.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or
They have
not.
cross arms at every crossing, then
Like
they
the
don't have
cat
to blow
leash
the
law?
horn.
You never know, it's a
Like
down.
the cat leash.
I was at someone's, I saw a plan, I said, he said, we don't have to, because it's an ordinance we have.
Okay, I'm not
Whatever,
sure.
I won't be here whenever all the crossings, I'm just saying. It'd be
Okay.
nice not to have that horn.
It would be, but I'm not sure if that's,
Well, it disturbed me last night when I was outside, so.
Oh, what the hell you?
pancake supper, this Thursday, Kiwanis Pancake Supper, which is huge, Sear Gates. Should be hundreds and hundreds of people. That's what it is every year, so please come out for that. I too want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for as a community, much less our families and, and all of us. So thank you for what you do, and that's it. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Thank you.